What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I am Herr Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Woo, yeah.
This week, we got a little bit of a break in movies coming out. So we're doing one of the movies that we said we would do for a thing. For a charity thing, I assume. I cannot remember exactly what.
This came up during the RRR stream.
This is the only one I was trying to find the name of the person who submitted it, and I could not. So
let us know, listener. Find us on Twitter.
Like the Rocketeer, some anonymous hero.
Exactly.
Is the reason for this episode.
So, yeah, this week we're going to be doing 1991's The Rocketeer, a movie that, I don't know, it's kind of relevant, I guess, maybe. They're going to reboot it, they keep saying.
It's an older superhero movie, so in a way it presaged our current, studio hellscape.
That's true.
Yeah.
But is he a superhero? Can you be a superhero if at the end of the movie, like, somebody goes, all right, so it's my Iron Man suit, I'm going to take it back, and it's like, okay. And then that's it.
Also, Jennifer Connelly goes, here's a thing to build a new Iron Man
that's
suit
true.
if you want.
Yeah. Now, this guy's an idiot, though.
This is based on a Golden Age comic book, so there's that too.
That makes sense. I was curious about that because it seems just generic enough that it could have been a Hancock situation where they just went, we'll make a superhero. What's his name? What's the power? He could fly with a rocket. But also, it could have been one of the first superheroes. And then, it's like Golden Age characters didn't really need that much going on. They just needed kind of a fancy name and a hat. So he has both of those.
Nando, you played Disney Infinity when that game existed, right?
I did, yeah.
Was the Rocketeer one of the characters you could play?
I don't think you could play him, but I think it was in there somewhere. There's a Disney game. I want to say, I don't remember if they had like assist trophies, but there was definitely, like, I can remember it. Maybe, you know what? Because some of the things you could get would be like power-ups that would be like a hat. And I bet his Rocketeer helmet or jetpack was something you could own and make your character fly with. That's a guess. But yeah, it's also a Disney property. It's like Willow in these just weird little one-off Disney things that, like obviously that Willow's Lucasfilm, but it's like this kind of could be a franchise, maybe, and we'll talk about what it kind of is, but like it's not though. So that's why they're running out of things that are not. So it's going to be, and we'll talk about all of that.
Just wait.
How is everyone's New Year's Eve? Did you guys have a good New Year's Eve?
2023. Woo. Yeah, mine was fine.
Did anybody have any glasses that had the numbers on them? Because I've heard that is a disaster because the numbers don't work for glasses.
We were spoiled by the first decade of the 2000s. And those glasses manufacturers have just been trying to recapture that high ever since.
And even the 99s, I feel like that must have been not super hard. Because the 9s have circles in them. Well, I guess those glasses would sit pretty low on your face, so I don't know what they did with them. But like,
did they exist before the 2000s?
I don't know. That's a great question. I just assume they did, but now that you mention it, they probably didn't. Maybe there was like 1 year where they were like, "This is a glasses year." Like, no, none of them really work until 2000.
Well,
1980, maybe
1900.
Yeah.
Although it would have been a little off-center, I
Yeah,
suppose.
even then, they're off-center. You need two middle digits that are both zeros or eights. Or maybe you can get away with a one.
Then the last time they could have done it was back in the year 1000.
It's true. You only get the millennials. You get these sweet glasses. Think of how cool and futuristic and tech like the 3000 glasses will be.
Oh, my God. They're going to be so good. They'll be throwbacks, so they'll make plastic ones that look like the ones we wear today. Yeah. But they'll 3D print them on the holodeck or something.
Yeah, they'll be throwbacks to when humans existed.
Well, right. Or they'll be made of metal and stuff like Mad Max's. They'll be made of like hockey pads and scrap.
All lead.
Yeah.
100% lead glasses.
No, they use some asbestos as binding agent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, New Year's weird. 2023. We're in that year now. Already off to a weird start in terms of new stuff, but also one good news that we got to talk about. I shared this in the chat. They're making a movie where Nicolas Cage is Dracula. It's finally coming out.
Yeah.
But it's more of it's a different take of Dracula, you know? Finally. Someone's trying what if Dracula was something other than just plain old Dracula. In this, it's his assistant is Spider-Man, plus they're dating, kind of. It's a bad relationship. That's interesting, isn't it?
Listen, the movie seems like it could be fun, and I love that they went full like goofy ass Nosferatu Dracula with Nick Cage with this one.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He's really going to get a chance to ham it up, and I think that'll be a lot of fun.
I hope he does. I hope this isn't a Willy's Wonderland scenario where he plays like a very muted character. I hope he goes like retro Nicolas Cage.
Did you watch the trailer, DJ? He's definitely not playing a muted character.
Fair point.
I guess what I'm hoping is it's not a jiu-jitsu situation where he's in the movie for 2 minutes and mostly just stands around. Yeah. That's the Doomsday scenario. But it seems like the Nicholas Hoult stuff will be fun too. How much you guys know about Renfield and just like vampire, like lore generally?
Well, I know he's a Dracula guy, and that's it.
I have read the original Dracula novel more than once, so I would say quite familiar.
Do either of you guys watch, speaking of familiar, do you guys watch What We Do in the Shadows?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, so that's my main touchstone for this guy is whatever that character's name is. Jesus. It's a G. It's not Guillermo, is it?
It is Guillermo.
Is it Guillermo? Yeah.
Unless you're Laszlo, then you call him Gizmo.
Oh, yeah. They got to be making another one of those show, right? Another season?
I think, yeah, the last season, I think, was still doing well, so I'm pretty sure they're going to do another.
That's good. That show's cool. I feel like we don't get this Renfield movie without that show. And that movie, obviously. But, like, it's a fun subgenre. What do you guys want to see in this movie? What do you want Nicolas Cage to do or say?
I would like him to run around screaming, "I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire!
Oh.
I'm a vampire!" I would enjoy that.
Or what if Nicolas Hoult runs around screaming, "He's a vampire! He's a vampire!" And Nicolas Cage just runs around screaming, "Yes, yes, yes!"
Yeah,
to him.
Some kind of Vampire's Kiss reference. Although my favorite underrated Vampire's Kiss line has got to be, "I did kill someone last night. I turned into a vampire. It's a long story."
That is a good line.
That is a good line.
Do you think did he eat a live bug in that movie or something weird like that? Yeah,
ate a live cockroach, and Nick Cage really did it.
Think he's gonna do that again? Probably not, but maybe.
Well, it seems like Renfield eats bugs to activate his powers.
Yeah, what's that all about?
So that is a reference to the original novel.
Okay.
Renfield, even before Dracula entered the picture, was like a patient in an insane asylum.
Oh.
And he was kind of the way that manifested in the novel was that he believed that consuming the life force of things made a creature stronger. So he was like catching flies in his cell, then feeding all of those flies to one spider.
Ooh.
And then feeding that spider and a bunch of other spiders. Or rather, he would catch flies, feed them to spiders. Then when those spiders had eaten a lot, he would feed the spiders to a bird or different birds. And then he got a cat and he fed the birds to cats. And that was around when the head of the asylum was like, okay, no, you can't do this anymore.
It's too strong of a cat. We can't fight it back. So
yeah.
So
that's probably what it's a reference to, is that initial idea of his in Dracula that eating creatures makes you stronger.
Interesting. Cool, I guess. But then it's true in universe. That is a fact.
It seems to be related to Dracula. Like, he has those powers because of Dracula. And it's not just a thing that will happen to anyone.
I don't know. Has anyone tried?
I guess we'll see.
We'll have to find out. Yeah, maybe that's how it ends.
Maybe that's how Nick Cage became such a powerful actor, eating that cockroach.
That's true. Yeah, this looks fun. People seem to like this. Like the trailer. When does it come out?
April, I think. But we already know that DJ and Nando aren't going to like it.
Why?
Because it features your least favorite human being on planet Earth.
Nicholas Hoult?
No.
I mean, he's not my least favorite, but he's the only person I can think of. It's the two Nicholases finally together.
Yeah.
No.
That's what it is. It's the Nicholas event of the century.
That's true.
But no, who else is... Awkwafina. Yep, there you go. She's not my least favorite. I think
I never... this is slander. How dare you?
This is the podcast lore now.
I just think she's a little overexposed, I guess. And I think she's being used in times that I think it's not good. Like that Dragon movie
I forgot who she is, so I'm like, you know what? Have a good renaissance, because I feel like I haven't heard of her in like a bajillion years. So welcome back, Awkwafina. You're in my good graces again.
Wow.
You're
Big news on the
welcome.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, she seems fine. I don't know. I feel like, there was a run where it was just like that Raya movie, the Oceans movie, where she was just in everything. She was in that Bad Guys movie I watched once. But yeah, she's going to be in Little Mermaid, this, and some other stuff. So we'll see. 2023 might be the year she wins us over, or it could be the year that we all turn on her like we do with an actress every so often. Mm-hmm. She could get Jennifer Lawrence or whatever.
Maybe, maybe at the end in December 2023, DJ and Nando will be saying this was the year of Awkwafina.
Maybe.
Ooh.
Certainly.
I should have put that in my prediction.
Certainly possible. Well, speaking of years, we're going to talk about a movie from years ago, both in terms of in the real world and also in the setting of the movie.
Decades even.
Yeah. So we're here to talk about The Rocketeer. 1991 is The Rocketeer.
It's as old as I am.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty. And is it? Do you think which one of you has aged better? There's a question I always ask people who are as old as the movie.
Definitely The Rocketeer. I've aged horribly.
Rocketeer is having a comeback, but maybe you're due for a Rocketeer-esque comeback yourself.
Yeah.
It's maybe David Oyelowo and you are going to start hanging out soon. You never know.
Diggins, how many women have you drugged recently? Maybe that could be a good metric of how you compare with the Rocketeer.
I don't think this would be a good number for me to reveal on the podcast.
How many Alan Arkins have you hung out with recently?
Yeah.
Is he dead? Is he still alive?
No, he is not dead.
All right. Way to go.
I just
we got him.
say, though, DJ, you, set me up. You were really fucking me on that question. Because either I say 0 and it's not funny and the bit's over, or I say a number and I'm a criminal.
Hey, man, I'm here for the layup, but also, it's...
Whatever the opposite of that is on your own team. Some sort of
a block,
but
a Matumbo block.
Yeah.
But we're on the same team, so it's weird.
Friendly fire.
Unless it's my heel turn. Ooh, 2023, year of the DJ heel turn?
Maybe.
Ooh, maybe I'm evil now.
You would have had to have been a face to begin with.
Oh, that's true. Speaking of faces,
podcast? Is it Nando?
It's Timothy Dalton, honestly, if you ask me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got a face.
Have we done a Timothy Dalton movie before?
Oh, man, that's a great question.
Oh, God, I feel like he's in some animated stuff that you wouldn't think of, and I'm betting if he, he's on Doom Patrol. We've never done that. Probably not then, because we don't do the James Bonds unless they come out in theaters, although they would be fun. We did Toy Story 4. He was in that, so there you go. Probably didn't come up, but yeah.
Yeah, right.
We weren't you'd like that one cameo from the character we already forgot about from Toy Story 3. But maybe. We haven't done Looney Tunes Back in Action yet. Apparently he's in that. So maybe we should do that one of these days. I feel like it's come up before. The one where it's Steve Martin. Yeah.
Probably at least in the Space Jam episodes we've mentioned it.
Oh, yeah.
Also, DJ, obviously Lotso is played by some other guy, right? This is the one that's
I know,
Porcupine.
I was trying to think of,
Yeah. It's okay. It won't be okay when he's got his own show or something, when this character has some sort of big spin-off. And people look back going oh my God, did you not see that coming?
Come on, lots of stock was so high.
He's also apparently in the new 1923, the Yellowstone prequel that people seem to like. That's part of your Harrison Ford assance. So,
good.
It's important. That's something. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Timothy Dalton is in this movie, you guys.
Whoa.
I would say he might be. Some would say the highlight of the movie.
Some would say is some of those one of us. Well, you'll find out in a little while.
Yeah, but before that,
we
have other stuff we have to do. Business associated with podcast. What is that business, Diggins?
Nando, we'd like to play a little game around here called the IMDb, B as in spelling bee. What that works is we play a little game where you guys have to guess the IMDb summary for this movie, and the loser has to summarize the movie. Now, you might be asking yourself, where do these IMDb summaries come from? And that's a great question. You see, back in World War II, the Nazis had a encryption device called the Enigma that was considered unbreakable. It was an incredibly tough encryption to hack until the British brought in a young Mr. IMDb on as a mathematician to start working on the decryption techniques. And after a long and arduous struggle in a movie where he was portrayed by Frumius Bandersnatch, Mr. IMDb managed to crack the Enigma codes. And the British were able to read all of the secret Nazi messages, which turned out to be summaries of movies that wouldn't come out for decades. How did the Nazis get this information? To this day, we don't know. But Mr. IMDb, in reward for his efforts to help end the war, was allowed to keep all of the movie summaries, and he's been using them on his website ever since.
Wow. How did things go for Mr. IMDb after that?
I never looked into it. I'm pretty sure great.
That's awesome. Good for him. This whole thing works out really well for him.
There's no horrible fate due to bigotry that happened to him because he just lived a perfectly happy life. And he's still IMDbing to this day.
Wow. I guess there's still Nazi transmissions to get the IMDb scrummers from.
We got to get Mr. IMDb out of retirement.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. And it's a new year, so it's a new, fresh scorecard.
Yeah, that's true.
Things are changing.
So whoever wins this one is putting their best foot forward for the 2023. Now, who lost last time?
Me, probably.
Nando.
I'm going to take a wild guess.
Nando. Oh yeah, because if you had won, we would have tied, but you didn't.
That's true. Yeah.
So Nando, you get to choose who goes first. I'll give you a little. It's a short one.
It's a short one.
It's a short one.
Okay. I'll go first because I've got an idea for a short one. I'm going to just say a down on his luck pilot stumbles upon a experimental rocket jetpack and uses that to become the Rocketeer. Yeah, That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. DJ.
That's like That's like what I was gonna do. All right. So do I go different or do I try and be more? Okay. After discovering a futuristic jetpack, a young pilot must become the high-flying Rocketeer to thwart an evil scheme.
This is tough because you both did such a good job.
Wow.
Wait, are you serious? Are you serious?
Yeah.
2023 is off to a rousing start.
Yeah, you both nailed some really specific things that this says in ways that impressed me. I do think overall I have to give it to Nando because he had the structure closer.
And because the IMDb summary ends with the word yes, period. Right? And it's just the IMDb summary is like the end.
Yep. Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know why that's on there. Maybe that was part of a different Nazi message.
Maybe. I mean, they probably say that about some things, you know? Wow, incredible.
The real summary is a young pilot stumbles onto a prototype jetpack.
Oh, wow. Nando got
that allows him to become a high-flying masked hero.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
It is weird, the specific things that we got. Because what did I get? Young pilot and high-flying?
Yeah.
Nando got stumbles upon.
You both got become also, which is,
Yeah, I guess
let's go, Nando.
Had one of us not said the Rocketeer, we would have been even in better shape. That was our biggest mistake.
Exactly.
Oh, shit. It's not. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
No proper nouns whatsoever in this one.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised about the no proper nouns. Well, I guess the Rocketeer is a proper noun, but that was. Thought that would have been in there.
I would have been too. But
next, the word rocket never shows up in this summary either.
Yeah, it was tough because it's like, I feel like it is a jetpack, but they talk about rockets so much.
I know.
I feel like the movie might call it a rocket anyway. But yeah.
I feel like it might be a thing where the word jetpack didn't exist when the comic was written.
That makes
and then
sense.
It did exist when they made the movie. So it's like they didn't want to use the word jetpack because it never gets used in the source material. But like it's a jetpack.
That makes sense. And it makes sense why the IMDb summary leaves out all the Nazis being the bad guys, because they made the summary. So they wanted to kind of write that part out of the IMDb summary.
That's a good point.
Right.
That's a really good
In
point.
fact, they should.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the summary isn't a heroic actor tries to steal the plans for a deadly weapon from an evil empire and bring it back to the glorious fatherland.
Yeah, I think that sounds much closer. Well, as the winner, that means, DJ, you have to summarize this movie, which is good.
Oh my gosh.
Because I kind of remember some of it, but I don't remember enough to do a good job at this.
I mean, I don't either, but let's go. Okay, so there's this guy. His name is Cliff. Cliff?
Yep.
Yeah.
TJ, we off mic talked about his name not 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know. All right, it's weird. I remember his last name was Secord, but that's not important. Cliff Secord. This guy, like mentioned, is a young pilot. He's so good at piloting. No one's better. Well,
he's okay.
Yeah, he's fine. So he works in an airfield with Alan Arkin, a.k.a. PV, who's like this older, I guess, like engineer type who designs the planes. And the crew, like, they're testing their new plane for the National Air Show, and it's very exciting. And like while the guy's flying it, there's a chase between what we learn are some feds and some gangsters, because these gangsters have a jetpack that is important for reasons that become clear later. And basically one thing leads to another. Plane gets shot down. The plane's ruined, and the jetpack, we think, gets exploded. And the feds are like, "Oh well." Turns out, however, get this: the bad guys hid the jetpack in the airfield where these dudes work, and it's like, find a better hiding spot. It's not abandoned. Anyway, so now Cliff finds the jetpack, and he's like, "Oh, it's a jetpack." So they like test it, and like basically through like certain events, he's like, "Oh, there's like this dumb thing where there's an old drunk dressed as a clown who like flies a plane and he's gonna crash it." So Cliff is like, "Oh no, I have to save him." So like he puts on the rocket and saves him in ways that like, sure, he did. Like, I think it's kind of, well, we'll talk about it, but let's just say that he's so good in this jetpack. He saved the old drunk who was just flying around for like children's entertainment. I guess that's fun. Okay, meanwhile, there's this girl that he likes, Jenny, and she doesn't like that he flies. Like, really doesn't like it. And he finds out that, we don't, like, that he flew and crashed, and she's like, "No, we're done. You told me you wouldn't do that anymore." So I'm super mad about it. Meanwhile, she is an actress who works with this guy called Sinclair, and he's, like, the best actor ever. He's so cool. But he's also, get this, guys, he's the bad guy. He wants the rocket and has employed the gangsters to get the rocket. So, like, there's a lot in the middle. Like, the gangsters knock over a diner. They're trying to get the rocket. The guy is doing, like, he goes to a club to, like, no. What does he become? Oh, yeah, he becomes the Rocketeer after saving the old drunk flying the plane. Because he does that, and all the reporters are like, "It's the Rocketeer! He's our new hero! He's here to save us!" And so now he's the hero, he's the Rocketeer. Which, like, is a big deal and isn't. Because it's not like people are like, "Oh, look, it's Superman!" It's just like, this guy shows up twice to events and saves people, kind of. So, anyway, he finds out that his girlfriend's in danger with Sinclair because he's evil. So he goes to this club to try and save her, and he becomes the Rocketeer again, and he saves her, kind of. Like, he saves her, but she gets kidnapped again, so it doesn't really matter. She gets chloroformed, but Sinclair is the bad guy. So the gangsters are like, "Give us the rocket back, and we'll give you the girl back." And it's that famous, you give us the thing, you get your girl back. And it turns out Sinclair's a Nazi because the plan... Oh, there's stuff with Howard Hughes here. It doesn't matter. Howard Hughes is involved. It doesn't really matter. He developed the rocket, the jetpack, and the government wants him to make more, but he won't. But also, the jetpack can't fall in the hands of the Nazis, because if they do, and get this, there will be an army of flying Nazis that come and destroy us. We'll get to that later.
I like how he said that, for everyone that's listening, because it almost sounds like there are some flying Nazis in his house that he was trying to like make feel bad about it, because he turned behind him and said flying Nazis and then came back to the podcast. So yeah, I don't know, maybe they're out to get us. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Sorry, I have some behind the snes. It doesn't matter.
The flying Nazis in your house. Like,
it's pretty obvious.
So he's like, Howard Hughes is like, give me the rocket back. He's like, no, I have to go be Rocketeer one more time. He goes be Rocketeer. He also gives Howard Hughes the idea for the 747 or 737, whatever. And then he said,
yeah, I don't know about that.
Whatever.
It's the spruce goose.
Fine, the spruce goose. Whatever. I don't know aviation shit, okay? So he saves the day, defeats the Nazis. Sinclair gets the jetpack but blows up, so it's fine, I guess. And then maybe at the end he gets to keep being the Rocketeer, because maybe they'll build a new rocket for him. The end. He gets the girl. Alan Arkin's cool. I don't know, did I get everything?
I feel like some of it was kind of out of order, but it's mostly there.
It should, as the intent of this is for the audience to kind of get the gist of what's going on. I feel like I accomplished that.
That's most of it. So, you guys, now that we have had DJ do the explanation of it, I'll say...
Flawlessly.
Well, flawlessly.
No issues.
Except for that one flaw I pointed out.
That's true.
Well, except for that one flaw.
When you take out the flaw, it was flawless.
It was perfect.
That's true.
I will say what I thought of it, and
because you won,
because I did win, which I did. Thank you so much. And my thoughts are, I liked it. I've seen this movie a few times, and it feels like a movie from an alternate universe, like where this was the hot shit that everyone loves. You know, like we had one of these, and they never did it again. No more Rocketeers. There could have been. But there just weren't. And
they weren't because it bombed really hard at the box office.
And I'm not surprised.
Really?
You know, it's tough. It's got to be tricky to like...
The thing is, it came out at the same time as Terminator 2 and another super popular movie that I forget. So it just got buried.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a shame because I feel like a movie like this, I think it could have been the hot... like I said, it could have been the hot shit. But also, it's like kind of... there's something about I don't want to say quaintness of it, but like it's just a little movie about a guy who wants to steal a jetpack and do some cool flips and stuff. And it's weird also because it's a movie from my past that's set in the past of the time that it was made. So it's like two layers abstracted from the reality I'm currently in, which is always interesting because you're like, oh, is this like an old timey thing, or is this just what movies were like in 1991? I think this is just what they were like. Like that kind of crispness that comes with the sound. But yeah, overall, I think this movie holds up, and I had a good enough time with it. I don't think it's like incredible, and I think I'm honestly, my biggest thing coming out of it a second time, because I think I watched it like earlier last year, so like early 2022, is just what happened to the main guy. Everybody else in this is a big star, but where'd he go? And I don't know if he's some scandal. I believe he's still alive. But yeah, Billy Campbell, apparently he was on that show Dallas. It seems like he might do like, what are those things called? Not sitcoms, soap operas. But just a strange career trajectory there. Because yeah, everybody else, it's like, oh yeah, that guy from that thing. Anyway, overall, pretty fun movie. Some of it looks pretty silly, but it all works. So yeah, I don't know. I like it. What about you, DJ? What did you think of it? Or Diggins? I can't remember how this goes. It's been so long since I've been at the top of the card. Okay.
I agree with your assessment, Nando. I enjoyed this movie. I'd never seen it before. And like I knew nothing about it. I knew so when I was like, oh, this is the movie we're doing, and I looked it up, like I knew I saw that poster somewhere, like the very 40s stylized, like Rocketeer poster with like the like very like straight lines, and like I know I've seen that poster. I'm like, oh, I think it's in like Hollywood Studios or maybe Tomorrowland, like and because also like this era of movie is very like Walt Disney, right? Like big suits and, you know, everything's like pristine, and like the club looks like a fancy 40s club, but the diner still looks like an Americana diner. So like the movie is very like of Walt Disney, or like what he was into, or, you know, like, yeah, what his like obsessions were, right? His childhood. So, and of course Howard Hughes. I probably loved Howard Hughes. But yeah, I generally enjoyed this movie. It's silly, but I think it all kind of makes sense. I will say, I wish so. The Disney Plus page has like a summary, much like the IMDb summary. Oh. And the Disney Plus page mentions the Nazis, and I wish it didn't, because like the whole time I'm like, well, those fucking Nazis, and then it like turns out at like the last like quarter of the movie, not even like the climax, is like Nazis, and it's like, man, that would have been such a fun surprise, but they kind of like ruin it with the, if you read what the movie's about on the Disney Plus landing page. But yeah, I thought the movie was really good and enjoyed it, and is glad it was on a streaming service, so it wasn't hard to find.
Yeah, it'd be funny though if that was what it was, if there was no Nazis in it the whole time. And then at the end, Seahorn's like, you know what? I just had an idea. And you're supposed to be like, oh, that's when Nazis started. This man got a jetpack and then just lost it. And jet fumes got to his brains.
All that alcohol, right? Yeah,
and, yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's a rare moment where the IMDb beats Disney at its own
It really
game.
did. Yeah, they really did. Yeah, Diggins, what did you think of The Rocketeer?
Well, if I had to sum it up, I would say this is a dumb movie for idiots.
Oh man!
No, I'm joking. I like it.
It's a hard movie not to like.
Like. Yeah, that's true. There's not much to hate.
I could see someone being like, it's kind of boring at some points, because I don't know, action and stuff have evolved to a point where this does look like people stand in front of a green screen. But besides that, it's like, yeah, I don't know. He's a guy.
The effects don't look awful or anything, but they've definitely aged.
Every couple of effects, there'll be one that I'm like, uh-oh. We gotta just smooth those lines out a little bit, and this whole thing looks great.
The acting's like pretty competent too. There's no like acting performance where you're like, oh my god, what is he or she doing? So
yeah, it's a very fun, like pulpy kind of movie. It's a deliberate throwback to those old, like, in the same way that like Star Wars and Indiana Jones was. It's an old throwback to serials and other, stuff that got made back in the time it is set. Which is, there's a lot of fun to those things, which is evident by how popular the other two examples I gave are.
Mm-hmm.
And so I appreciated it for just being this like simple little thing with fun character actors. Timothy Dalton as the actor is great.
Mm-hmm.
The main villain. I did already know the Nazi thing. That was like the one thing I knew about this movie, is that he fights the Nazis.
Oh wait, is this your first time seeing it too?
Oh yeah, I've never seen this movie before.
Oh wow.
So
cool.
That was not a surprise to me, unfortunately. So none of us can give you the surprise experience.
Yeah. Well, I guess, were you surprised that he was... Because there's a time when he's like, I'm being blackmailed by the Nazi. I mean, he doesn't say Nazi, but he does make it seem like he's like, I'm just a pawn. But then it turns out he's like one or two levels below Hitler. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Maybe that's like could be a fun surprise for people that don't know. But yeah, it is pretty... It's pretty prevalent in the marketing.
The second he showed up, I was like, he's the bad guy. So,
he's always the bad guy. I feel like that's his thing.
Yeah, when he was James Bond, he was the bad guy.
I mean, James Bond does a lot of bad things,
Besides that, how many Bonds was he?
What do you mean?
He was only Bond twice.
Okay. Yeah.
He's in The Living Daylights and License to Kill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that in between Connerys? Was he like...
No. You're thinking of George Lazenby.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, okay.
He was Bond in the 80s.
Got it. Okay. Right before Brosnan. Okay.
Yep.
How interesting is it? All these actors that were James Bond. For me, as someone who didn't grow up with him as James Bond, if I watched this movie with him, I'd be like, that guy was probably James Bond. This got a James Bond energy. Sean Connery maybe not, but definitely Dalton Lazenby and Pierce Brosnan. I'd be like, if that guy wasn't James Bond yet, they should play him in like a Logan James Bond movie, because he'd be perfect for it.
Do you think
Daniel Craig not so much?
I was going to say, people will think that when they see Knives Out.
No, they'll say this guy would be a great. Oh God, I already forgot his name. What is it? Basher or Smash Man or whatever from that movie where they pretend to be Southern. And Rob Daytona or something. What is his character's name in that? Yeah, he's got a fun name in that. But yeah, I feel like that's the iconic role he'll be remembered for.
I feel like he was Bond too old. Because, like, he won't be like, oh, yeah, remember when he was Bond? Because, like, you know, he like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like he was, like, too old.
Well, he was pretty young when he got cast, or at least he was an appropriate age. It's just that the Daniel Craig Bond movies all took, like, 6 years to come out.
Yeah, and they all kept... You would get a new Bond if he did 2 bad ones in a row, but he couldn't do that. He always had to do a good one after that, so they kept him. But I could see Casino Royale, No Time to Die, Spectre being the end of him, and then that would have ended in, like, I don't know, 2012, whenever Skyfall came out. Or, excuse me, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, and Spectre. Those would be... That's the run that would have killed him. But yeah, he had a good run in between. Also, his character's name in that movie that I was talking about is Joe Bang. So...
He's fun in that movie. That movie's fun.
Yeah, it's a solid, like, it's a good one. He's fun, and it's the first time at least I remember, he tried a weird Southern accent, and look where it got us, you know?
So, I know.
We are
now
lucky.
I'll say, there's been a murder.
Wow, that was your best shot?
I mean, I was over, like, you actually want me to try? All right, everyone, do Knives Out, Daniel Craig. Okay, I'll go first.
Didn't we do this already? I can't remember. Maybe this only happens in my dreams when I like have podcast dreams, and it's just like whatever the generic podcast is.
Are they your podcast dreams or your podcast nightmares?
Yeah, it depends on the movie.
Listen, I think it's very important that everyone stay here so we can ascertain what has happened.
That was actually even worse.
No. It's great. You did a great
also,
job.
Also, Nana's right. We definitely have done this bit before.
I remember looking up lines he said before. Yeah, this
finally hit repeats. It only took many years. In the podcast continuity. It doesn't matter.
Talking about The Rocketeer. I liked it. I think it's a fun movie. There's Nazis in it, which is always fun. The scene where the mobsters smash up the diner is the best one.
Hey, I'll take a pot of coffee. Whoa, what happened to the coffee pot?
Yeah, I do like it when
How was
mobsters...
that?
Well, I mean, that was... Is Daniel Craig as a mobster or just any mobster?
I was trying to do the mobsters from the movie, specifically in the diner scene with the coffee.
Because I do think that's what we would get if he was given that role. You know? Hey, what's wrong with you? I'm just a mobster. But, yeah, that is a fun scene. It's fun when
Mark
mobsters...
Wahlberg got cast as a mobster.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a documentary, my friend. That is not... You wouldn't do that for free. That's going to cost you. But, yeah, that scene is fun because it's like... With mobsters, they're mobsters. They could just say, I am going to break everything in this place until you tell me, but they have to be coy, you know? It's like they're playing a little game.
That's what's so great about it. He's like he smashes the pies and he's like, hey, don't interrupt this meal. Hey, I never cared for music. And then he shoots I love that shit.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's like, we're just innocent guys. We're not doing anything's wrongs. Anyway. The mobsters are great in this movie.
Yeah, the mobsters are cool. The whole thing is cool. What was I going to say? Oh, I think it's interesting, too, to look at this movie because it came out in 1991, right? What do you think? Was this a reaction to Batman? Like all the other ones of these? Okay, because that's what it seems like. And because this is a year after Dick Tracy and 2 years before The Shadow and like Darkman and all of those like... We know things in comic books are what people want.
Oh my god, guys! We should do Darkman one day.
I think we should do The Shadow. The Shadow is great. Oh my god, it's the one with the talking knife, and Alec Baldwin is like a Chinese man in the beginning or something, and you're like, what the fuck are they doing? Yeah, that movie rules.
Sounds horrifying.
It's really bad.
This is the only good one of those.
Yeah, I don't know. Dick Tracy has a weird charm to it. Honestly, is that guy in Dick Tracy too, the big giant man? He feels like he's right out of Dick Tracy.
What's that guy's name? It's like Tiny Ron something.
Yeah, I cannot remember. Tiny Ron Taylor. I'm going to guess he was. No, he was not. He's probably busy doing this.
Oh, he was mounted in Roadhouse? Hell yeah, Roadhouse rules.
Yeah. And apparently he was an Ace Ventura Pet Detective on... I can't remember what he was, but sure, yeah. And he was a football player, apparently. Mm-hmm. Oh, a like basketball player. Well, yeah, he played for UNC for 4 years as a center, and then played for the Caps, the Nets, the Squires, and the Pittsburgh Condors.
Well, he is like 7 feet tall, so that probably helped a lot.
Wild.
Yeah, back then that's all you needed to be a basketball player.
And yeah, so that's probably why he couldn't do Dick Tracy. But yeah, there were a lot of movies where they just picked up comic books, threw out all the ones with capes, because those were silly, obviously. Batman was a fluke, and just tried to make everything else. And it's all bad. It's all weird and not like bad, but it all didn't work. And
except for the Rocketeer.
Except for the Rocketeer, yeah. Are there any other ones of those? I'm trying to remember. Because this is kind of like, it's also the precursor to The Mummy. And like this kind of modernized adventure serial movie set in that era.
Yeah, you're right. This is a very Mummy-esque movie.
It's interesting because it's right between Mummy and then Temple of Doom, which is the other movie that this movie kind of is. Especially that scene in the bar where they're doing the fancy restaurant. But like, it feels like a transition movie almost. Like everybody knew we didn't need this. We don't need more of this. But whatever the next guy does that's doing something like that, that thing will be the new thing.
So what you're saying is that we can do that Domino's meme that starts with the Rocketeer gets adapted as a film and ends with Dwayne The Rock Johnson's Black Adam movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, what's the most bizarre kind of... It would be that or like Dwayne The Rock Johnson leaks Warner Brothers, box office sensitive information or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, I think, that it would be, it would be like The Rocketeer, and then the next thing would be like Kevin Hart cast as Ace the Bat Hound in animated Super Pets movie. That's a pretty weird little sentence. But yeah, I don't know if I like The Mummy more better than this, but besides that, I like this better than all those other movies we said.
Well, never seen The Mummy, so can't judge.
What?
Never seen any Mummy movie.
Even the shitty one with Tom Cruise? You probably weren't on the pod when we did that.
No, yeah, I did watch it for the podcast.
Okay, yeah. One. So there you go.
I was referring to the Brendan Fraser.
That's what I figured. But
movies.
Fuck, I feel like we should do them now. Like, that's an excuse alone.
I mean, yeah, I did it. We dressed up as Mummy this year for Halloween, and we watched it, 2 months ago, because it's so great. I could quote that movie in my sleep. But then there's another one, and a third one that no one talks about, because it's bad.
Yeah, but, it's like The Godfather.
Yeah, it is like The Godfather. Speaking of things that are like The Godfather, this movie has Godfather-y guys in it. What's any of them?
Like
They're probably in Godfather. Yeah. I feel like this guy, what is his name? Paul Sorvino. Yeah, he probably, I could see him having been in Godfather. Let's see. Ugh, no. Goodfellas, though. He was in Goodfellas. So.
Yeah, there you go.
They got him for one of them. Yeah. And, he's just the guy for that. He's perfect. Some really just perfect casting in this movie.
Do you think if you just look like that, like one day a man shows up at your house and is like, you'll play mobsters in Hollywood movies for the rest of your life? You're like, well...
Honestly, it's a good deal.
Absolutely.
I think it's a good deal.
Fucking forget about it.
Exactly. That is what you say.
There's no shortage, right?
I mean, they're a perfect little set of villains because they're bad, but they're not like... They're funny too. Like they're kind of silly sometimes. Like we were saying,
like in the diner scene.
It's a perfect. You could throw them in a movie, regardless of whether it is an action comedy, totally serious. You get a lot of options, and that's great. This movie's good.
This movie is good.
Paul Sorvino is in it.
He plays Eddie Valentine, the mobster.
Yeah. What did we think of? I don't know. The whole thing. It's cool. DJ, you said you've seen this poster before. Diggins, have you seen the poster?
Yeah, the Art Deco one he's talking about. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's so iconic. Like, it's probably the most iconic thing in this movie.
You know what else is iconic, Nando?
What?
Wheels.
Wheels are iconic. You don't need them if you have a rocket ship jetpack thing, but you do need them for a plane.
I thought that was going to be your Godfather transition. You know what else the Godfather had? Wheels.
Godfather did have wheels. Yeah, the cars explode all the time.
Yeah.
Big part of Godfather.
I felt you trying to get to wheel, and I'm like, how is he going to get to wheel?
You know what? Has a wheel in it, you guys. The wheel.
The Godfather.
The wheel has a wheel. And we're going to spin the wheel.
Does have a wheel.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the wheel. We got 10 things on this wheel, unless I counted wrong. It might be 11. We'll see. I'm going to spin the wheel. Tick, 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 tick. Lands on one of Diggins is. This is a good place to start, because this is kind of... We've already talked about what the story of this movie is. This one just says the Green Lantern.
So, I was about halfway through this movie when I was like, so it's like a superhero movie about a cocky test pilot kind of guy with a rocky relationship with his girlfriend because he's not very present in her life, and an older mentor figure who ends up finding a mysterious artifact that he uses to become a superhero, even though it is actually something that belongs to a higher power. And I'm like, you know what, guys? The Rocketeer is just the Green Lantern movie, except the Green Lantern movie's not good.
Yeah.
Did they get their idea for the Green Lantern movie from the Rocketeer? Is that where?
Well, so I just looked this up because I was going to ask that very same question. Apparently, the Rocketeer is an homage to Saturday matinee serial heroes of the 30s and 40s, but the character first appeared in 1982. So if anything, they got the idea for the Rocketeer comic from the Green Lantern comics. And then they made the Rocketeer movie, and then probably someone was like, people like movies where the pilot is a jerk. Let's make that again. I mean, and then they made Top Gun, and then they made the Rocketeer movie, because that's another movie that this movie is kind of cribbing from. But
yes,
yeah, so the Rocketeer is a Green Lantern-esque figure, but he's not the original.
Big difference is that our hero Cliff is not a jerk. He's like a nice American boy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he doesn't do anything super wrong.
He yells at a child once.
The child sucks.
A child had it coming.
Yeah.
Wow. Just because the child is like, why was our diner firebombed? What's going on?
He's like, shut up, kid. I'm trying to think.
Shit to do. Come on. You think I did it? No. Okay, then let's move on. Yeah. I wonder.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you wondering?
What are you wondering?
Did he... What's the worst? Is that the worst thing he does in this movie?
I mean, he has a rough conversation with his girlfriend.
Yeah, he's kind of a jerk to his girlfriend at the start.
That's true. Yeah. But why?
And he steals from the FBI.
That's true. He punches FBI man once.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like somehow makes him a hero because FBI man is like bad. So you're like, yeah, punch him.
I mean, if that's what you think, if that was the point where I thought we were supposed to turn on the Rocketeer.
Yeah.
I hope they all get what they deserve, if you ask me. The Nazis, the Rocketeer.
I hope
a lot of them.
Anyone who might be listening while we record this, not later, when it's released as a podcast, knows that only DJ thinks our hard-working FBI agents are villains.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, me and some members of Congress probably think that also.
Depends what the FBI agents are doing.
Yeah, I was going to say, super variable, though. I feel like, yeah, he is a jerk to his girlfriend, which is very Green Lantern of him.
That's true.
He also, like, kind of, I don't know, he dresses like the Mummy. He dresses so, it's the same outfit that, like, Brendan Fraser wears.
The thing about his outfit is it's, for the time period, a very normal outfit for a pilot to wear. But it's a very normal outfit for a pilot to wear while they're piloting. He simply never changes out of it.
Yeah. It's a cool looking coat, you know? It's good.
It does, yeah.
Oh, I'd buy that coat.
It looks
I'd buy the
good.
shit out of that coat.
But it's weird that he never wears anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the guy who's always carrying around his motorcycle helmet. And you're like, you Ubered here. And he's like, I don't know. Maybe you never know when we're going to need it, though. Yeah. I feel like, why does he crash originally? Just because of the gun?
He gets shot.
Gets shot. So it's not his fault. Yeah.
No. And he's like a hero for landing it so good, you know. No one could have landed it like he did.
I guess he is a little bit. He has like Green Lanterniness too, where like Alan Arkin is like, don't go do a Rocketeer, and he's like, I'm gonna, and then Alan Arkin's like, but you'll die, and he's like, no, I won't. And even though Alan Arkin is the science man, he's right. Like our Rocketeer is right. He's
because Rocketeer is just so good at rocketeering.
Exactly. He has the force of will protect him. So it works. Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing missing is the Intergalactic Police Agency.
Big Giant Head Man. That guy. Well, I guess we have a big guy
reveal for the end of this movie.
It's Timothy Dalton or the other one, the Big Giant Man.
Yeah, right.
Lothar.
Yeah, there's so many forehead bat guys in that Green Lantern movie that like one eats the other one, and then at the end, another guy who had a big forehead is like, "I'll be the bad guy in the next one." So they all just can't stop having big evil foreheads.
Yeah, we've never
damn shame
never gotten the Sinestro movie.
We don't know what James Gunn's planning. You know?
It could be in the
cards. One of the best pieces of casting that they just threw completely away. But
who plays Sinestro?
Mark Strong. He's good at it too. Like it was a solid. Like he had that kind of like sneer down. Like, fucking Hal Jordan doesn't even know how sick I am. And then you feel for him because the whole time he's right. He's like, Hal Jordan sucks. Let me do it. I'll kill Parallax. And they're like, no. And they just give Hal Jordan a million chances because he's Ryan Reynolds. But in this, the Rocketeer is cool, so it works.
Just like they give the Rocketeer a chance because Howard Hughes is like, he's cool.
Yeah, and he is.
He is cool.
He is cool.
He's so fucking cool.
Again, like, where did this actor go? It feels like him and Bill Pullman walked into a room together and then went, all right, well, I can go. We don't both need to be here. And then that was it. Never saw him again. Because it's real Bill Pullman vibes for me.
It was highly under rules. There can only be one.
Yeah, it really was.
You know, he wasn't like a big star when he got cast in this. It was kind of a risk to cast him, and then this movie bombed. So I feel like that might be what happened to him.
That's a good point. Which is a shame because everybody else made it out okay. Everybody else in it had at least one big role after this, except him. But yeah, he's a good Green Lantern guy. I feel like, you know what this feels like? It kind of feels like that. Well, it's weird because like there's like that character Adam Strange who like has a jetpack and stuff, but it's not quite like this. It's weird how like back in remember in like the Doctor Strange movie, how like the most recent one, Captain America Peggy Carter just has a jetpack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like you just throw a jetpack on whichever ones your guys can't fly, and they can fly now. I kind of feel like that was when that happened. All these Rocketeers and Adam Stranges just became completely irrelevant. But for a while, they were the king.
Yeah, it's hard when that's your superpower because it's so unremarkable. And like, well, we'll talk about it. Yeah. I have some thoughts on this, but we'll talk. Well, it's for another chunk.
DJ secretly hated the Rocketeer.
I mean, his dog told him to.
I'm saving it for my heel turn.
His dog was like, "Why don't you let them have a chance? They have such good ideas with that. Let's see what they do with the jetpack. You never know."
There's nothing wrong with flying Nazis.
Yeah. All right, I'm spinning the wheel again. Landed on one of, I think Diggins is Toasty Buns.
Yeah.
It's like the rocket itself.
So they do a hand wave at one point on one of the many ways in which a jetpack would be extremely impractical, where the outside stays cool even right after it was on. And Howard Hughes, when they're talking to him about it later, is like, yes, we invented the double bullshit system that makes it hot turn hot. Like,
exactly.
Cool. But the fact remains that while he is using it, it is shooting giant gouts of flame like 2 inches from his asshole.
Yep.
There is I told the guys about this before we recorded, but there's like the most common questions like asked when you Google something. So it was like, oh, if you Google Rocketeer, what are like the most common questions? So the most common questions are, how does the Rocketeer not burn his legs? Is the Rocketeer a Marvel character? Was the Rocketeer a flop? And is Rocketeer a diesel punk?
And the answers to those questions were, in order, magic, yes, and yes.
Nice.
Yeah, what is diesel punk? It's this, I assume?
I don't even know what that is.
You know, like steampunk? Yeah. It's like that, but instead of like steam engine stuff, it's like diesel engine stuff.
Right.
I had no idea there was a difference between those two things. I thought it was just all under the steampunk umbrella, and it's like, oh, whatever. Maybe there's a difference. Who cares?
Steampunk is a very specific aesthetic that's more 1800s-y.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I learned something today.
That's great.
It doesn't answer your question, Diggins. Well, I guess you answered it. Magic?
Yeah, magic. Yeah. So,
or it doesn't. Or his butt is just a big old welt now. Like, he has no more butt.
Like after the end of the movie, when he and Jennifer Connelly go to have sex, he pulls down his pants, and his butt has melted off. There's just exposed bone. And he's like,
exactly. I think that's what
And he's
happened.
like, oh, wait, this makes total sense.
Yeah, what was I thinking?
And she's like, I'm sorry, Cliff. I can't love a man with no ass.
It's a conundrum. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Oh, what do I think? It's like, shut up, who cares?
Yeah, the answer is shut
It's
up.
like...
Well, yeah, obviously the answer is shut up, who cares, but the podcast is mostly nitpicking. Furthermore, when he turns on his side, how is he staying up in the air? The entire propulsion is just horizontal at that point. He should be falling the whole time.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too, because you'd have to be going really fast to get a lot of... Also, I mean, the craziest thing about the Rocketeer is a detail we get kind of late in the game, is that he's propelling himself by the helmet. Like, that's how he turns?
Yes.
And, like, that's not easy to do with a human neck.
His neck would snap, probably.
Like, his neck would snap, and then he would just rocket straight into a wall, and that would be it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, obviously planes do work where they, are only propelling themselves horizontally, but that's because they have very specific aerodynamic designs so that the wind lift is able to keep them afloat after they have already taken off. A human body is not that.
Also, more bullshit. So, like, when he's saving the drunk pilot, like, there's no way he would be able to, like, have any... like maneuvering, like he's just a person. He's not in like an Iron Man suit where it's like, oh well, the Iron Man suit's doing a lot of the work. It's like he's just a guy. Like I don't know how he's influencing anything he's coming into contact with.
Somebody didn't watch the movie. He does it with the big dumb rudder on his head.
But no, that's not unacceptable.
I don't know what to tell you, DJ.
That's the big dumb rudder.
I mean, again, I'm just I'm here for the nitpicks.
It's a cool rudder, though. Or is it? I don't know. The helmet's really big, you know?
The movie does do that thing that annoys us in MCU movies, so I feel like I should ding it for this, where he sees the outfit and he's like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, he does that.
Oh, Diggins, if you're gonna ding, please ding properly.
Ding!
Thank you.
There you go. It's a weird one, too, because it's like, it's funny... because it is an ugly outfit, but I wonder if they redid it, if they make the helmet look cool. Because I think even if I saw that then, I'd be like, what the fuck is that? But I don't know. I guess it's cool. Maybe people love it. They love their Rocketeer helmet. But yeah,
it does look cool on the poster
because it's smaller.
Like
because it's proportional to his body in a way that the rest of it isn't. But like when he's just holding it, it's like as big as a fish tank. That's not going to look good on your head.
Also, the poster is an illustration where it doesn't have to actually fit in on a human man's head.
It's like Iron Man a lot of the time, where it's like the helmet is so big on his head that when they CGI him, they just pretty much, they might as well just face paint the helmet on, because otherwise he'd have a humongous head. But yeah, I mean, I do like the direction. I like the turning thing with the head. It's silly, but it's fine.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. There's no up or down of that, though, right? Like you guys are saying. He just has to either be pointed up the whole time and just go really high already, or somehow pull his body up, and it just doesn't make any sense.
It is insanity that, like, so they do the test on the dummy, and like it kind of you'd expect what would happen. Like they do it, and it's like, oh my god, this thing is uncontrollable, and like they do that, and then our man Clip is like, yeah, get me on that. He's not like, oh, this is not correct. Like, this was not meant for humans. This must be a mistake. Don't put me on this ever.
This is God's punishment for man's hubris.
Yeah, exactly. These wax wings aren't gonna pan out.
I love in that scene how he set up a whole little switch system to turn it on so they don't have to be next to it. And then,
right, yeah.
And then when it's in danger of floating away, he doesn't just like flip it off. And in fact, never tries to do that, leading me to believe that they didn't put in an off switch for some reason.
It seems like that because it was a ripcord to hit the button. So what would the kill switch be, right?
Yeah, what was their plan?
What was the plan?
I don't know. Runs out of fuel or whatever. I don't know.
It feels expensive, man.
It does.
Well, it was alcohol, right? Remember that? It runs on alcohol? Mm-hmm. Which I was like, is that better? Like, I'm not sure.
It's a Futurama robot.
Yeah, it is a Futurama robot.
So, I don't know. I mean, it's still probably expensive, but yeah. You just put a little bit in.
Yeah.
Alan Arkin playing Coy, by the way, he, like, at that point he goes, oh, I know exactly what this is. He's just like, oh, it's some kind of device. Never seen it before.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
That's my Alan Arkin.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys like it.
It's not so bad. I don't hate
Argo,
it.
fuck yourself. That's my Alan Arkin.
Ooh.
How did he say it in Argo? Yeah, Argo, fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's right. He was an Argo.
It was better.
Yeah. It's when you have a line and you hear it, it's like, okay, that's how you get it. This is tips for anyone who wants to do impressions. Welcome to mostly impressions.
I think if any longtime listeners have learned anything, it's that they should take our advice on impressions.
Just wing it, you know? Just like...
They should take our advice on everything. We've never been wrong ever. See our predictions.
That's right. So far, they're holding up.
Yeah.
That's true. We haven't bombed yet.
Nope.
5 days into 2020, whatever, 2023.
Which
oh my god,
means we're already doing better than we did in 2022.
That's true. I don't remember what it was, but I do remember one of our predictions falling apart immediately. What was it?
Yeah, that was fun.
I don't know. Either way, you guys, yeah, the rocket doesn't make any sense. But yeah, and the fuel is expensive. What else was interesting about it? The helmet is weird. That's it, I guess.
Yeah.
I do find it funny that he's like, it's not super important to the movie, but he's like a costumed hero where his identity is anonymous. Like, people don't know who he is. And his Rocketeer costume is the clothes he wears every single day of his life, but he has a dumb helmet on.
Yeah. It's weird, too, because, like, in the beginning of the movie, it's important that they don't know he's the Rocketeer. But, like, for most of the movie, the bad guys know he's the Rocketeer. Like,
yeah.
This information does not get held on to by Cliff very well. So, you know.
Well, if he hadn't illegally broken onto that movie studio lot, then that wouldn't have been a problem.
That's true. That's the worst thing he does, is destroy the motion picture, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're making art, you know?
They're making high art, Nando.
Yeah. I like how the movie is funny about that. When the movie's like, actors are bad people, and then the movie's also like, no, they're great. That's always pretty funny to me. I spun the wheel again, you guys. Landed on one of DJ's, I think. And this one just says Howard Hughes. I feel like I had something for this, but I couldn't remember what it was, so I just put Howard Hughes down. Howard Hughes is in this movie, you guys.
Something about pissing in jars. I don't know.
Yeah, fingernails, and like it's interesting because when this movie starts and we see Howard Hughes for the first time, I'm like, oh, there's like a Howard Hughes kind of guy in this. And then it's Howard Hughes.
Yeah.
You know, like they're just like, oh, look, Howard Hughes over there.
And his like introduction is like insane, right? It's like, of course, I'm Howard Hughes.
Yeah.
And no, sir, I will not be helping the United States government. Tell President Roosevelt I'm done. Throw World's Fair magazine with Rocketeer into fire.
Yeah, it's it's just how you gotta live your life if you're a Howard Hughes type. You use the word Howard Hughes as much as you can every single day.
I just don't know why there's a real character in this movie. This could have been any, like, you know, engineer, creator, man. Like, I don't know.
Well, it is a weird...
But like I said, like, Walt Disney probably loved him so much. But I don't know. Walt Disney was dead by the time this movie was made, but still, it's like, it's probably just like, if you ever make a Rocketeer movie, put fucking Howard Hughes in it.
If you believe, you know, Disney's dead.
Well, I know they consult the head.
I got a beach
I know
to
they
sell
consult
you, yeah.
the head.
But the idea that... It's funny, because this movie is like an alternate history movie. Kind of, but like not really.
It is, yeah, I
but
mean,
only in very
I don't remember
minor ways.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's not how the Hollywood land sign was taken out.
Exactly. It's like
a pretty big one.
Okay, that's pretty minor in the grand scheme of things as far as alternate history goes.
But it's like, it's weird that it does that. Like, it's not like, I don't think that's I don't know, maybe in the 90s that was a mystery. Like, you know, what happened to the Roanoke colony, where it'd be cute to have that be, you know, how the Hollywood sign actually got destroyed. What you didn't know was, but like they do that anyway. That's weird. Yeah. I don't know. There's something about the way that plays out that just boggles my mind.
It's just everyone trying to retroactively steal BoJack Horseman's great joke about Hollywood.
That's true.
Yeah, that is a great joke.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
The
Howard Hughes-ness is fun.
You know what's fun that in this movie is not I mean, the time period is, but the general thing that happens is not a historical inaccuracy.
What?
What's up?
Hitler really did send big old blimps on a world peace tour or whatever they call it.
Oh.
Big old Nazi blimps. That's why the Hindenburg was here when it exploded.
Oh. Huh. And the purpose was just like, we come in peace. We're okay.
Goodwill tour. That's what they call it. Yeah, it was a goodwill tour. It was just like, hey guys, we're cool. We're not going to commit a genocide at some point.
Oh, well then why were they even scared of the Nazis? That's ridiculous.
I mean, everybody in the movie theater thought it was cool in that bit where they do the thing where the little movie theater news thing tells you some stuff about the story.
Yeah, we're like, this will be important later.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some of them are like, oh yeah, those good old boys and their blimps. We love them. And I feel like we could be swayed by blimps in these current days too. Like some bad Vladimir Putin sent over some blimps.
The Russians
that was actually
like, oh, it's totally fine.
Well, but they'd have to not be filled with hydrogen this time, so they don't explode.
No promises. But they'd be filled with something worse, filled with like plutonium.
They'd be filled with that gas he uses on his political opponents.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forget. Is it polonium? Is that it? I don't remember. But yeah, that
polonium's a radioactive material. But
a lot of them get poisoned with that, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, they don't. They don't. The FBI is good, and also so I guess they're like KGB. I don't know where that one's going
anymore. The KGB
FSB. Okay. I know, but our boys in blue, whoever they are, whatever police force is listening to this, you're cool and sweet. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, the blimp. Yeah, it's weird because blimps were like, it just seemed like at the time there were people that were just like, blimps are cool. Like, I can't wait for more blimps.
Blimps are cool. They were right to think that.
Yeah, I do think blimps are cool.
But
it's a shame we don't use them regularly, except for Goodyear.
Yep.
And I don't know, Blimpy. I don't know.
But they're also like a lot less safe, so it also makes sense. I think it's really funny how in the newsreel when we see the blimp, his girlfriend turns to him and is like, "I bet you could fly circles around that thing." And it's like, yeah, he could because it's a blimp.
Yeah, any
That's
of us
not what
could.
it's for.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get to it, but yeah, the blimps are slow, and I mean, he's even before he's a Rocketeer, he's an okay pilot, right? He's not great. I think it's interesting.
The movie wants us to think he's great. I feel like.
I think we're supposed to think he's a really good pilot.
I don't buy it. I think he's okay. I think he's just living off his reputation and his charm. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, that Cliff is such a good pilot."
Everyone in the town does love him.
Yeah,
that I can't figure out.
He's handsome.
He doesn't seem like yeah, they'll do a lot.
Yeah.
Didn't get him in more movies though. Hey.
You know, DJ,
handsome.
I know that you don't have first-hand experience, but when you're handsome, like, people just fall all over to be nice to you.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, you guys know, being such handsome lads.
Oh no, I'm even worse.
I don't think so.
I was going to say this gets to my next. Oh wait, the Howard Hughes. Any other Howard Hughes stuff?
No, I'm tapped out on Howard Hughes.
Is that the thing with the plane that you said, DJ?
Yeah, he's got the model of the Spruce Goose.
I thought it was a 737 for whatever reason. I don't know.
No, so he made a plane out of wood. They call it the Spruce Goose. He was supposed to make it. He's supposed to make it for the U.S. military in World War II to be used as like a seaplane for supply runs. He didn't finish it in time. It only got finished in like the late 40s or something, and only one of them ever flew, which was what he was getting investigated by Congress for, like, why did you waste all our money not building a plane? And he was like, I did build a plane, and here it is. And he did a demonstration, and no one ever used it again because it actually wasn't a great idea.
In 50 years, when they make whatever the Rocketeer is now, a movie set in the nowadays, but they make it like, 50 years in the future, is that going to be Elon Musk? Is it going to be like,
no,
my Hyperloop, this is the perfect technology? I don't know.
DJ, you say that. Howard Hughes did do a bunch of funding of crazy right-wing stuff in his later life. Like, he did a lot.
Maybe yes, then maybe it will be.
He did a lot of protéging and funding of things that would eventually become Fox News.
Does that So then, is he? But did he also help one guy once with a jet or something? Like, did he do one cool thing and everybody was like, that guy is cool? Because, like, I guess how long ago was Moonfall? Like a year? We're still doing the Elon Musk is cool thing in media. So in 50 years, sure, unless he does something really terrible. Which,
give him time.
Fingers crossed.
Give him time.
What do you think of Terry O'Quinn in this role, by the way? Is it weird?
Seems fine. Seems like a Howard Hughes type.
Like, do you guys have trouble not seeing him as the lost guy? I don't think I'll ever be able to get over it. It's like Dwight from The Office now. It's just, that's who he is in my brain.
But it was so before.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Long before.
Right?
2 decades. Or a decade, I guess. When was the last? 2005, 6, something like that?
Yeah. So I guess my, like, brain didn't. I'm like, oh, this is. Like, same thing with Alan Arkin. I'm like, that's not, like, old guy in all movies he's an old guy in now. That's some other man.
Yeah, I think there's something to TV where, like, if I see you just be one guy for 100 years or whatever, like, if you're just that all the time, I'm never going to get that out of my brain. Because, like, I tried to watch a show with him not too long ago where he's, like, a CIA guy or something. And I was also like, that's the Lost guy. I don't know how I did it with the Speed Racer, one of those where a Lost guy was in Speed Racer. And Evangeline Lilly cuts her hair all different. But yeah, it's just, it's tough with him. I don't know.
What do you do with, like, a person who, like, was big in 2 TV shows? Like Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Like, what do you do with her? Because Veep and Seinfeld.
I mean,
like,
I see her as Elaine in all his stuff now. Like, I think she's Elaine in the Marvel comic stuff. I may have called her Selena Meyer in a video, though. I rewatched Veep pretty recently. But yeah, there are people like that. They call it the Seinfeld curse, right? Where
is that a thing?
I believe so. Where, like, the actors in a show like that have a really hard time finding other roles because of such an iconic performance. They can't get cast as a different character.
Yeah.
Because Costanza, obviously,
interesting.
You know, Michael Richards had his own business, but, like, a lot of the other actors from stuff like that and Friends are kind of their careers either were that or they did like that. Didn't like Matt LeBlanc and Phoebe both have shows about, like, an actor from a TV show from a long time ago who's kind of a doofus now. It's like you could do that, but you got to be some version of your character.
I hear the Lisa Kudrow one is good.
Oh, yeah. I love that show. There was, like, maybe 2 seasons of it, but, yeah, it was a very funny show. Not so much about the other one, but, yeah, that's what you got to do. And even Veep. In Veep, she's like Elaine still, kind of. I don't know.
She's a much worse person than Elaine.
She's saying all the things Elaine would have said if she was on HBO instead of network TV.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of Howard Hughes, I'm going to ask this question. So this was on the wheel, but I changed it. This is a question. Could Nando fly the rocket? The answer is no. I could not. I don't have the strength of neck.
It's not. It's
really
more,
hard.
could you beat the Rocketeer?
In a
That's
fight?
more like the question.
If you had to fight a man with a jetpack, would you win?
I mean,
Yeah.
I would say if it's a normal man in that jetpack, I do have some pretty big advantages. He's wearing 100 pounds of jetpack on him. I feel like would make him a little bit easier to deal with, but I don't think
as soon as he turns it on, he'll burn his legs clean off his body.
Yeah, and I don't think the flying gives him that much of an advantage. It's not like, unless he has a gun and he can, like, hover and shoot me from a distance, he has to kind of come in for a punch, so I don't think I can destroy, like, it's not an absolute no question, but I do think, like, as a superhero who's not just rescuing people from planes or using his Rocketeer thing to get to where a plane is, he's not that great. Even the fight scene he has in the restaurant, it's mostly just him accidentally bumping into things that knock over and kill some guys. He's he's pretty useless, actually, now that I think about it.
Given how fast he flies, if he hit a person while he was doing that, they would probably die.
That's true, yeah. Them and him would just be, that would be really funny. First time he flies, it just explodes the big giant man, and they're both dead. But also, like, I feel like the rocket is also just kind of unwieldy. So, like, if you gave it to someone who's not the greatest pilot ever and greatest Rocketeer ever, I don't think they'd even be able to turn it on without accidentally cutting their head off or something.
Yeah, probably.
I think I could do it. I don't know. You guys not think you could fight a Rocketeer?
I do think I can fight a Rocketeer.
There you go.
This is more in the theme of, I feel like you often claim that you could beat things, and I'm not saying you couldn't, but I feel like, and I said this before we were doing our thing, I given the opportunity, if we could ask that in a movie, could Nando beat it? I want to ask the question.
Oh, yeah,
like,
no.
I think we'll have a pretty in-depth discussion next week about Mithrigan. Could Nando defeat him Mithrigan? Like, that'll be,
Don't spoil us. Don't spoil us for that discussion, Nando. That's for next week.
Yeah. Once you see some of the Mithrigan things Mithrigan's able to do, I think it'll be pretty clear. But,
Nando would crush Mithrigan with his bare hands.
Wait, I was just going to ask, in this fight, do I also have a rocket pack, or is it just the Rocketeer?
I think you're always Nando in these fights.
Okay,
like,
so
you're Nando.
Then I'm definitely going to be okay. But if I have to, like, fight him in the sky, I'm going to have a lot of trouble.
Right.
Okay.
In keeping with my usual stance that I would lose a fight to a regular human man, I think a regular human man who can lift 100 pounds of jetpack could easily destroy me.
That's true. He does wear it like it's made of styrofoam, because it is, I'm sure.
Well, he's so strong. Those shoulders can bear so much weight.
Yeah. Like, I feel like it's like people forget how much things weigh, you know?
It's true.
Pick up like 2 or 3 bags of groceries, and like if one of them has a milk in it and the other one has something else that's liquid, it's hard. You can't do that all day, but this guy's gonna do that all day with the jetpack. Oh my god. I don't know. He's great. Speaking of that, spun the wheel again, landed on one of, I think, DJ's. All this for a jetpack?
Yeah, so, okay. All right, so here's where, like, we get real in-depth discussion. So, okay. So, we are led to, believe that this jetpack means so much. And the reason is because the, like, Nazis want to use it to invade the United States with an army of flying Nazis. And what I have to say to that is there is no way that is a threat. Like, there's no way. Like, plane beats man in jetpack, right? Like, unless the, like, I guess the guys are, like, holding, like, machine guns or whatever, like, a couple of planes, even, like, World War II era, or pre-World War II era planes, are going to be able to take him out. Like, it's no question.
Yeah, I guess, like, could you, if you're the Rocketeer, I mean, the Rocketeer is able to do all that shit that, like, Top Gun's able to do, where you can stop the Rocketeer in midair and stuff. So, like, there is something to, you could just do a backflip and then be behind the plane and then shoot it. So, like, there's that. But, yeah, I mean, I don't think they're that great. I feel like it'll probably be fine.
I think the utility for this is not in fighting planes, because you guys are right. They would lose that fight easily. And it's certainly not in fighting battles, because then you fly up in the air and you're a really easy target because you no longer have any cover. So that doesn't work. I mean, I guess you're moving really fast, so maybe you're a hard target that way. But if you're moving really fast, then you also have a hard time hitting the enemy.
That's true.
So yeah, that doesn't work. I think where it would come in handy, and they really should have mentioned this because it would make it a lot more plausible as a threat, is that it would be far easier to do beach landings if all of your troops can just fly over the English Channel instead of having to deal with the Navy.
Yeah.
But, like, with what supplies? Like, normally when you, like, go with the Navy and establish a beachhead, you have, like, ships and stuff that have all your logistics stuffs. Like, these guys are just guys. So, like, yeah, I guess they could storm, but they're going to be, how much ammo they're going to be carrying, like, you know, I guess they could go in a lot of places and cause chaos, but they're not going to be able to do anything, like, super effective. I think, like, even back then, we'd, like, see them coming. Like, I'm not led to believe that the, you know, Rocketeer is so fast and is going at an incredible speed. It's like, oh, we can't detect them. It would be like, oh, they're coming. Oh, you know, like, we get reports from Europe. It's like they're flying everywhere. Like maybe you could do, like, the land invasion of Europe would have been easier with a bunch of Rocketeers, and maybe they do conquer, like, all of Europe. But, like, they're not getting to it. Like, we would know. Like, we could set up a Rocketeer-based defense system. You shoot up some artillery rounds, like, into the air. Like, even if you don't hit, the concussion blast would, like, disorient the fuck out of them. Like, I just don't see a scenario where, like, this helped. Honestly, we should have given them the jetpack, because World War II would have been wrapped in, like, a year. It would have been like, this is terrible. What are they doing? This is not effective.
That would have been really funny, too, if they all tried it. Like, because I feel like you would try it. It would be very, like, Justin Hammer demonstration. The first guy would do it in front of, like, Hitler, and then they'd just fly up and straight back into the ground and explode, and they'd be like, well, okay, we're not doing this, but I don't know, maybe like, you'd show Hitler, like, a picture of it, and he'd be like, does it work? And you'd be like, of course it works. And then he'd okay it, and then there'd be one day where just 50 of them all fly into the air, and they all kind of go in different directions, and then just bomb themselves back down because no one can fly them. Because, yeah, it's pretty hard. They're not good.
It was actually a feature of World War II that the Nazis funded research into a bunch of super weapons that didn't go anywhere because they were practical.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
Really should have spent those resources on, like, the war.
I mean, you know, just me. I'm happy that they didn't spend them on practical.
Oh yeah,
things.
no,
you know, that's just me. But
it's good that happened.
Different
and
opinions.
Also, it is a feature and not a bug that only delusional lunatics are in charge of a fascist system. But
yeah, exactly.
Just to say that the Nazis are fanatically devoted to getting their hands on the jetpack is not even that far-fetched.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it is funny how in all these movies, it's just like, why do the Nazis want it? I don't know. They just fucking want to try to get a Hellboy. They think it's a good idea. Like, yeah, right. It's totally plausible.
It's gonna help them so much.
Yeah, if only they could have a Hellboy, it'll all be okay.
Well,
that's why they want the cosmic cube.
Really did secure the Spear of Destiny, so I think that's what started a lot of this stuff.
That's true. And he used it to kill Howard the Duck or something, right? We figured this out.
Yeah,
there's a lot of it changed hands a lot. I like that whole thing. That part is good that the Nazis want it, but yeah, you're right. It wouldn't work. It's hard to pilot. Like, also, I guess it would be good for bombings. You know.
But we already have planes.
But with what bombs? They gotta hold the bomb?
Yeah, you'd have to hold it under your arm like a little baby until you get there, and then you just whee, and then it's gone. But
yeah,
like
the plane's already better than that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like that's my thing. The person can't do anything better than a plane.
Can they be faster though?
No, it doesn't seem like that at all.
Well, they're definitely faster than a person, so maybe it's good for like forced marches.
That's true. Yeah, put them on like cars, maybe. Then we've got
flying
some
cars.
Maybe this is how they were going to get to the moon, like that Iron Sky movie. Maybe that's what they were missing.
That's what they needed. Oh yeah, it's also funny because the Germans were actually better at rocket technology than we were. They invented the IMDb. Wow.
The IMDb. Well, obviously, that's why you're able to use their. That. You know, we can get their transmissions.
They invented the IMB. Is that it? Is that the missile?
ICBM.
ICBM. Wow. Why isn't my brain working?
You're good.
They invented the ICBM at the very end of the war. Like, too late for it to make a difference.
I mean, I think it would be great if I were just giving, you know, the current whoever's the Nazis some advice. Just try to figure out what Elon's doing. See if you can crack the Hyperloop. That'll work, you know? Like maybe having our Elon Musk be the Howard Hughes type is actually a good thing for us because he also can't invent anything cool and they'll just waste all their time trying to figure it out, you know? They'll have a big tunnel in Las Vegas that's crowded with Teslas or something. I don't know what they actually made. It sucks though. They'll have a guy in a morph suit pretending to be a robot.
I forgot.
Remember that? That was good, wasn't it?
Oh my god.
I spun the wheel again. You guys landed on one of Diggins' absolute commitment to the flight jacket. I think I know where this is going, but we're about halfway in the movie, I would say.
Yeah, so this is after the gangsters have shown up at the diner and wrecked up the place. And then, because of some inconveniently placed photographs, they figure out who Jenny, his girlfriend, is, and that she's at dinner with Neville Sinclair right now. So they go. He races off to stop them, but he knows he can't just, like, interrupt their dinner because... Oh, right, because the gangsters unwisely talk in front of him, and he realizes Sinclair's in on it.
You hate when they do that. Yeah. You just hate
Everybody does that in this movie. You can stand around some people and find out the whole thing if you're just quiet, and they'll say it. Proper nouns and everything.
Yeah, it's true.
It's great.
So he dresses up as a waiter to secretly get her a message because Sinclair doesn't know. Actually, Sinclair does know what he looks like at this point, but it doesn't come up.
Yeah, I guess he like knows, but he doesn't. He does have one of those faces where he's like, I don't know, a Bill Pullman type. And
also, I feel like there's an implication that like Sinclair basically doesn't see waiters.
Yeah, that too.
Anyway,
that too.
So he does this, and when he does it, you can very plainly see that he took the little, like, white jacket that all the waiters at this fancy club wear and put it on over his flight jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's so puffy.
And his flight jacket goes down. Like, it has, like, a little point that would, like, almost cover his junk. But, like, that bit peeks out under it, and it's like, come on.
It peeks out under it. It's clearly all puffy, and because it's puffy... the fabric is stretching where the buttons are, and you can see it underneath the holes from where it's stretching there.
Yeah.
It's like an incredibly obvious thing that would be solved entirely by removing the jacket.
But then you'd have to remove the jacket, and people wouldn't know that you're a Rocketeer. So that's not great, you know? He didn't work that hard to be the Rocketeer and not get recognized as a Rocketeer.
But
even
he
when
doesn't
he
want to be recognized as a Rocketeer. He's supposed to have a secret identity.
Oh, but maybe he does.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty good. If you had a jacket like that, you'd wear it all the time.
Oh, yeah. You commit.
Like, I mean, it's like the Duster and Sunny, where they're just all looking for opportunities to wear a big giant coat because they think they're in the Matrix. Like, maybe there's the Matrix from his day that he's trying to emulate, and he's just that guy who, like, bought that coat and is just, like, trying to get people to notice. It's like, oh, you're dressed like Clark Gable in that movie we all know and love. That guy who's right over there. Because, yeah, you got a weird little Clark Gable cameo in this movie. It's kind of fun.
Well,
I love
not really
that.
a cameo. He doesn't show up.
I think they got him. I'm pretty sure they reanimated his corpse. I think he's dead. He's got to be dead, right? Yeah.
By 91, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's a Clark Gable reference.
The actor is credited as Clark Gable. So
Wait, when does Clark Gable show up?
Isn't that Clark Gable? Or am I thinking of who's the actor that she talks to at the dinner?
Oh, W.C. Fields. He's not an actor. He's an executive. Or is
there's
he an
an
actor? Hold on.
No, there's an actor that shows up too that's doing like one of those voices. Yeah, it's Clark Gable. There is a W.C. Fields though. You're right about that.
W.C. Fields was an actor, not an executive. Why did I think that?
You're thinking of www.nbc.com. The executives love to go there to learn about the news.
My brain is bad. That's why. Anyway.
But yeah, there's a guy in this movie pretending to be Clark Gable when he's like chatting her up and he's like, "Oh, hey, miss, you're in the pictures too." It's pretty cute. Yeah. Is she a good actor?
Jennifer Connelly or Jenny?
Jenny.
We don't really ever see her act.
We see her act at least once. And
well, I mean, that's as an extra in the background with no lines. That's not a fair judgment.
Oh, I'm talking about the time she acts.
Oh.
So, pretty good actor.
I think,
you know?
She does a pretty good job there.
I don't know what's holding her back besides not being a little Nepo baby. Like whoever the blonde is that can't do her lines good.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's, it's just like the New Yorker told us. You got to be a Nepo baby.
You got to be a Nepo baby.
Hollywood.
Is Jennifer Connelly that, by the way? Now that I think about it, I'm like, maybe she feels like...
I have no idea.
I bet she is. But yeah, the jacket is cool. Good stuff. You guys, I spun the wheel again.
Yeah.
Landed on one of DJ's, the Nazi cartoon. What's going on here?
All right. So, yeah. So, Howard Hughes is like, no, you need to give me back the jetpack. Look at this Nazi cartoon that, describes what we were talking about earlier where, the Nazis would come over. But, he says, men died to get it to us, and it's it's just a Nazi propaganda. I was ready for it to be it's plans or, something detailed about the jetpack, but, it's just, Nazi propaganda. Our jetpacks will make us rule the West. It's I don't know, man. If someone died to get you this, they paid too high a price. This is ridiculous.
Although the footage of that Nazi exploding immediately as soon as he tries to use the jetpack was pretty fun.
There is that. Yes, there is that. But yeah, no. I was just I don't know. I just was not convinced by the Nazi cartoon.
It's a little we're taking the Nazi propaganda at face value here. I don't think it would actually be that helpful.
Yeah, no one critically examines, I don't think this will work. But Howard Hughes there, and I guess he's that would be perfect.
Frankly, it was an irresponsible use of resources for them to create this whole propaganda film about a technology they don't have.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
May as well make something cool like a invisibility cloak or something. Make that the propaganda, and then it's holy shit. We won't even know if they're here.
Who is the cartoon for?
That's a great question.
Who's watching that? What's the purpose?
Hitler had a hard time focusing on his daily briefings unless they either contained pictures or references to himself. So they had to make little cartoons to make sure he was paying attention.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he did that. Those were for just you and me. In the German, just people that are just what are they up to over there? And it's they got jetpacks or something cool. That's what we would know about what's going on.
We're gonna burn down America with these.
They got jetpacks. Did you hear? They got jetpacks now. Oh, nice. All right.
That would be before a movie instead of a Mickey Mouse cartoon.
Yeah. It's just the leap from Nazi plus jetpack equals fall of America. I don't know. I'm not there.
I mean, look at where America is right now, and they didn't even have jetpacks. And it's true. Not necessarily all of them, but I don't think we could. It couldn't hurt. We're not doing so hot.
It didn't help.
Maybe we need some jetpacks, honestly.
Maybe. Well, Elon... Oh, no, that was flamethrowers. I was like, does he have a jetpack thing?
He probably tried, and then it became like it just started shooting fire randomly, and he was like, I think I can sell this as a backpack flamethrower. And you could try to fly if you want. And it's not a flamethrower, technically, so who knows? You know,
right, for legal reasons.
For legal reasons, because he loves the law. I spun the wheel again. Speaking of the jetpack landed on one of DJ's, what is Gum?
Oh man, Gum is like the third main character in this movie. There's so much Gum and it's important. So I think the first reference is like, we got to use gum to stick your seats to stick your butt to the seat of the plane. And I know that wasn't literal, that was coy, but I was like, that's an interesting line. Why did he say that? And it's like, oh, because Gum is like a main character of this movie. So the first main use of Gum, and it's almost like the Die Hard wrapping paper, where like there's a hole in his jetpack that was shot from the bad guys, and like Alan Arkin gets like gum from Cliff's mouth.
What you're forgetting here, DJ, and this is a very important context, is that we get the implication early on that Cliff considers the gum like a good luck charm, and he sticks it to the back of any plane he flies. You know, as like a superstition.
Right, got it. Right, thank you. So yes, that is important. That is important. So that's the first thing of gum. So, but then gum becomes practical, where there's a bullet hole in the jetpack, and like he uses the gum to seal the bullet hole. Right? We've gone beyond superstition to like, you need this or else you'll die or whatever.
That's where Cliff gets the gum. He scrapes it off of the jetpack where it was already put.
Right. And then later, the gum is used as a saboteur to like before Cliff is about to like give over the jetpack, he like peels the gum off the bullet hole, which makes the fuel start leaking, which makes the jetpack unusable, unbeknownst to our villain, Timothy Dalton. And then he gets like a stick of gum at the end of the movie from Howard Hughes, because isn't that fun? But I was just like, what is this gum? It's like, I don't know. It was just like, it's magic gum for sure, but also like, yeah, you just like it could do so much. So the gum worked so hard.
Fun fact: Beeman gum, or Beeman's gum, I think, possessive, is a real brand of gum that existed at the time and was considered good luck by pilots of the time.
Oh, cool!
I like that.
Now, I don't have any hard data on this. I'm pretty sure you couldn't use it to patch up a bullet hole.
There's no way.
Yeah, no, obviously not.
I think they could do it. I think you could do it. How much gum we talking about here? You know? Maybe it's not...
one mouthful, one stick?
Yeah, I think you could. Maybe two mouthfuls, at least. I think you could do it.
I mean, he is the Rocketeer, so...
Yeah.
It's just... I mean, A, I don't think it would be a watertight or fuel-tight seal. B... I think it would like melt off this jetpack pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's true. That's the tough part.
I will say I did like how it was like the sabotage mechanism at the end.
Oh yeah, no, that was
never gonna know. Like that was cool.
Everything about that was fun, with using it to plug in the bullet hole and sabotaging him at the end like that. It's also, though, extremely silly.
Yeah. I kind of wish that in the next scene he was chewing gum, and then Jennifer Connelly was like, is that the same fucking gum? You are disgusting. Ugh. I cannot believe...
It's probably soaked in oil. Ugh.
Yeah, and he's like,
never kiss me ever.
All my gum is that. I don't know what you think happened. Planes aren't clean. You know, I put it on planes, and then I chew it again. Gum ain't cheap, okay? You won't let me be Rocketeer. You won't let me do air shows because you don't like it. So, I don't know. We're going to have to skimp on gum. I don't know what to tell you.
He's the one who doesn't like air shows, not her.
That's true. But she doesn't like him flying.
She doesn't like that he flies.
Yeah, it's kind of... Yeah. They both don't like air shows.
I don't think she minds that he flies. Well,
doesn't she give him crap about it? It's like, why you keep doing this is bad.
No. The thing she's upset about is that he didn't tell her that he crashed.
Oh, and she heard about it from everyone else. Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I do feel like part of my brain has smushed this together with another movie that does this, and I can't remember what movie it is. Well, that one too. Well, no, because she flies planes in that too. But no, one where a guy flies planes. It might be Top Gun, but I don't think it is. It could be, because it would be Jennifer Connelly in both, where the girlfriend is like, don't fly planes. I don't like when you fly planes. And then the guy's like... too bad. But I feel like it's something we've done recently too.
Is it Top Gun Maverick?
No, it's something more recent than that.
More recent? So in the past, 5 months?
Honestly, yeah, I think it could be. Like, it's a thing.
Avatar 2, Way of Water.
Maybe. Oh, wait, you guys haven't seen Mithrigan yet. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Is this going to kill me? I'll figure it out by the end of the thing. But it's a movie. If I haven't figured it out, then please feel free to tweet it at me. It's a movie, and I think Top Gun has this, but that's not. It's something else is what I'm thinking of, where, yeah, girlfriend or wife of pilot doesn't want him to do pilot stuff because she thinks he's going to crash and die. And that's a whole big source of tension in the movie. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Are you thinking of Ford versus Ferrari?
I hope not. I haven't seen that movie. It seems boring.
I did think of that movie only because the office, the warehouse that Howard Hughes is in his first and second scenes is the same location that they use in Ford versus Ferrari for their warehouse office.
Oh. Go figure.
Yeah. I don't know.
This is really bothering me.
You know what it might be? I might be confusing it with is Rocky, which isn't the same thing, but it's instead of flying, it's doing boxings. Yeah, I think that might be it.
It's the same thing.
I watched Rocky the other day, so that's probably why.
It's probably Rocky. Yeah. No,
How many times a month do you watch Rocky?
It's a great New Year's movie. It takes place on New Year's, so you watch it on New Year's. It's a big fight. It's 1776, America's birthday.
Yeah. What were we saying?
I don't know. It's something about gum.
Something about... Oh, yeah, no, I don't think Jennifer Connelly's character, she has no real problem with anything he does. She's only upset that he's not supportive of what she does.
Yeah. And it's really, it's interesting because what his issue with Neville, whatever, is that his movies aren't very good, or that they're not his kind of movies, it seems like.
It seems to be more, he's he's a gooey-eyed silly boy for ladies or whatever.
Yeah.
But we look at his movie and it's I don't know, it's like Robin Hood or something. That's kind of cool.
Seems to be Errol Flynn-esque, which is very much not just movies for women, if you ask me.
Right? I feel like that's pretty good for, I mean, he doesn't know at that time that she's Oh, no, he does know she's working with him. So
because she's excited about it.
Yeah, so he could be a little just oh, he's too handsome. He's going to steal her, but...
How could he be insecure? He has nothing to be insecure about.
I mean, he does, because, he's got to deal with the James Bond, and he's, from the Dallas show.
Are you telling me you wouldn't leave Billy Campbell for Timothy Dalton?
I guess.
Pre-Nazi.
Assuming Timothy Dalton is not a Nazi in this scenario.
He's still sinister, but it's it's unclear why.
Also assuming he doesn't chloroform you on your date and take you to his bed.
Yeah, that'd be a great thing to not happen.
But yeah, I feel like he's rich, right? That's the other thing. The Rocketeer is poor, kind of. Yeah, he can't make ends meet.
He's a rich person who is very famous in the field of work you want to get into.
Yeah. Number 3 in Hollywood, right?
Number three, that's what
top
they say.
Box office earner.
Who's that now? The Rock? Maybe this year, but I don't know. Usually he's number 1. I feel like it's probably Zoe Saldana or something. So yeah, she might be a Nazi. Probably not. I don't think
so.
I don't think there's a connection between third highest. But there might be, because you got a chip on your shoulder. Anyway. You guys, is the implication that he was born there or he switched sides?
I don't know, because he's still super British, right?
Well, he has the accent, though. He, turns it back on.
He switches to a German accent at the end.
Yeah.
I thought that was just for, villain dramatic effect.
I mean, it is, but also, in universe, I could see this guy being a George Santos type or whatever, who's just, faked his whole resume, and he's really just a Nazi deep cover agent who... went way too good in Hollywood because he is just handsome and charming and stuff. And because I don't know if this guy is in the comics a big villain. Maybe he does have a backstory that clears this all up.
All right, I have 2 lists here. One for the highest box office earners of all time in a lead role, and one for the highest box office earners of all time in any role.
Okay.
All right.
Who do you think is number 3 on both of these lists?
Oh, God.
I mean, if I had to guess a top 3 person, Tom Cruise is probably a safe-ish bet. But I feel like it's probably Robert Downey Jr. or something, right? Those movies make so much money, and they made so many of them.
I was gonna say I was gonna go different Robert. I was gonna say Robert De Niro. He's been in so many movies and
But I do think the other one is probably Sam Jackson on the in any movie or in any role list because he's got Star Wars and Marvel. That's the box office.
It could be like someone crazy like Adam Sandler, just someone like high volume shooter, just like done so many movies, like
That's
movies
true.
that get dads like in theaters.
Yeah, I don't know. Diggins, I mean, I guess you have the list in front of me, so you can't guess.
I can't guess. I have the answers.
If it's Sam
Kevin
Worthington,
Bacon?
I quit.
Kevin Bacon.
Okay.
Who is it?
You guys done guessing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Nando, you guessed the number 2 one for each list.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Look at you go.
Robert Downey Jr. is the number 2 on lead roles, and Samuel L. Jackson is number 2 on all roles.
Oh, wait. I know who the number 1 is, I think, then. Is it Anthony Daniels?
For which one?
The Sam Jackson column.
Oh, no.
Oh, because he's
Although
up there. He's been in all the Star
kind
Wars.
of the right track.
Is it Stan Lee?
It is Stan Lee.
Yeah, I know he's
Oh,
on those
shit.
lists, too. Yeah.
The number 1 in lead roles, by the way, surprising answer, Scarlett Johansson.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
Between Lucy and 50 Marvel movies?
Yeah, that's right. The number 3
Her.
The number 3 on the
Yep.
lead role list is Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And number 3 on the all roles list, DJ, you were kind of on the right track that it's someone random. It's Frank Welker.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's got, like, Aladdin and shit like that, too. Like, he's got some voice roles in...
Anytime a movie needs someone to make animal noises, they just call Frank Welker.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
He's a
Fair,
solid
fair,
pick.
fair.
And ScarJo was in the SpongeBob movie, so that helps.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, most of her movies probably don't make that much money, right? I mean, where's she getting it from?
I mean,
Is it just a
definitely-
high volume of Marvel movies?
It's very obvious from looking at these lists that the Marvel movies are like responsible for many of the people who are on here.
Yeah. I guess it helps because they do make one a year, and it's usually like not like they make more than one, but like if you're Scarlett Johansson, you're in like one a year, and they're usually on the top 5 highest grossing movies in that year.
Also,
So-
she doesn't beat Robert Downey Jr. by very much, to be fair.
And I guess they're both dead, but they're both coming back, so who knows? Good for her though,
Yeah. Good for her.
and good for Frank Welker. He's still kicking.
Oh yeah, he's still around.
Cool. Yeah, good for him. Oh yeah, and all the Scoob. He was Scoob, right? Duh.
Scoop.
Yeah, he's got that Scoob money coming in. That's never going to stop from that weird Velma cartoon where she's in college, gets electrocuted all the time. You guys, 2 more things on the wheel. First one, the biggest plot twist in the movie. This one's from Diggins.
So, Neville Sinclair, Timothy Dalton, has a goon that he deploys throughout the movie, who's this big, hulking dude in, like, a suit with a fedora, who is 7 feet tall and kills people by snapping them in half.
Yeah.
Love that.
He's a big brute.
Right. Now, the other thing about him is he is very, very clearly wearing like a facial prosthetic. He's wearing a mask, like a full head face mask that is supposed to be his face.
You say
And-
very clearly, but I watched this on my phone, and I could be convinced it's his face.
When he talks, because when he talks, it's very obvious that it's not a real face.
I need a bigger phone.
Anyway,
That's the difference, really, if you think about it.
this is why James Cameron is right, and you should never watch a movie on a phone screen.
He knows.
You won't know. You
man
won't be
knows.
able to see when people are clearly wearing masks. So I saw this in this movie, and having never seen the movie before and not knowing what happens in it, I went, "Oh, that's Sinclair. He put on a bunch of movie makeup, and he is pretending to be some other guy so he doesn't get in trouble if anyone sees him." Except later, they're in a scene together, and I was like, "Oh, it's not Sinclair. It's someone else." Wearing a bunch of movie makeup and dressing up for some reason. I don't know. Is it going to be like Hitler or something? Who would need to
only.
disguise themselves?
Oh, it's so fun.
It would have been really funny. But at the end, it turns out that he wasn't in a costume, and we were just meant to believe that was his regular human face.
Yep.
Yep.
He was just the heavy. That was his whole
He was
thing.
just some guy.
He's a Dick Tracy villain guy. Like, I feel like I guess I took this as like, that's what this is supposed to be. I did not even question it. Because that Dick Tracy movie has everybody looks like that except for the main guy. Hudson Hawk, that's the other one of these they tried to
Oh
make.
my god, that's another
Yeah.
movie we should do.
Oh, that's a weird one. We could do the companion jazz album too or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the guys look like weird old monster men in those movies. So
well, yeah, but
I guess I took it in face value.
It's just this one guy. Everyone else is a regular person. So it was like confusing.
It's true. It would be really funny if at the end they were just like they kind of had that conversation with Howard Hughes and was like explaining everything, and Howard was like, "Oh, by the way, I don't know if you realize this, but that big giant guy was Hitler. We killed Hitler too." Pretty good.
Plot twist.
Yeah, pretty good.
What also convinced me of this is at one point when Cliff is fighting Lothar is the guy's name. He goes right for the nuts, and we just get a metallic clanging noise, and Lothar no-sells it. So I was like, because he's in a big costume. That's not really where his nuts are.
He's built for it tough.
Yeah, no, he's just got balls of steel, just like Duke Nukem's always been warning us about.
Now, which one of the James Bond movies has Jaws? Is that what this is supposed to be?
Several of them have Jaws.
Did the Dalton ones?
I don't believe he's in the Dalton ones. He's more of Connery, and was there someone between second period Connery and Dalton?
No, I think that's it. Lazenby, Dalton. Roger Moore.
Roger Moore. I think it was more like late period Connery and Roger Moore.
I think that's right.
Jaws.
Because, this guy's just covered in metal.
I think he was more of a throwback to characters like this in like the pulps of that time period. Like you were saying, how like Dick Tracy and them had all big, tough dudes. Who had weird faces. Yeah, they had weird faces. This guy had a weird face. He also had guns.
Which, you don't give that character guns. That's the point.
Sometimes he needs some guns. He needs to blast them,
He doesn't.
How else is he going to shoot the FBI?
Yeah.
I guess. He punches the FBI. He's so strong.
He punches their bullets?
Yeah.
Very few people in this movie do get shot for a movie where everyone's shooting guns all the time.
The one guy in the trunk.
Yep.
The one bad man.
And the rocket
pretty bad.
ones.
I feel like that is also very like golden age pulp comic book serial thing where there are guns, but like nobody ever shoots a person with them. They either shoot and miss, or they'll like shoot some scaffolding so it falls and collapses on top of the person.
Yep. It's weird too because there's that scene later where everybody's shooting each other, and one of them even says like, "Everybody be careful not to hit that blimp, because if we shoot it once, it explodes and we all die." And everybody's still pretty much going for it. Like, as long as you don't close your eyes and just wave the gun in the air, that is acceptable. Whatever you're doing is fine. So it's pretty good. It's old-timey bullets.
Yeah, they actually, a lot of people don't know this. When guns were first, like, mass manufactured like that, they actually, all bullets were fake. You couldn't actually shoot a person. It's only in the 60s that they started making real bullets. Yeah, it was for people with bad heart conditions. And you go bang, and they go, "Ow, no, I died." But you didn't. The gun isn't real, you know? Mm-hmm. Rockets, though, those are real. I spun the wheel again, you guys. The land's on the last line of the movie. Not the last line of the movie, the most important line of the movie. Diggins, I think you put this one on the wheel? I can't remember. Tell me what it is.
The one the gangster says.
I think, DJ and I both had this. I think you might have used my wording.
Yeah, you used Diggins' wording.
Because it's not a direct quote, but it captures the spirit. I may be a criminal, but I ain't no Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's good to be principled.
I knew that mobsters had a heart of gold.
It feels very of the time, where it's like, even our horrible criminals are good-hearted American patriots. They would never side with a Nazi. Of the time, I mean, of the time it's going for, like, 30s golden age stuff, not, the early 90s.
Yeah, pretty cool that he does that.
Yeah, he's a good red-blooded American.
And then
not a red-blooded Nazi.
I do like the twist that he's like, then the mobsters are like, "All right, well, now we're on the Rocketeer side." And then Sinclair's like, "Okay, Nazis I hid in the forest, come out." And then they come out. Yeah. And then the FBI is like, "We're coming out too." And then they come out, and it's like, did any of you guys bump into each other in the forest or something? Because I feel like you were both there. You all just go, "Shh," and then you saw one of your other guys going, "Oh, I guess he was on the other team." We'll go later. I don't want to blow it.
It's
also very clear that the Nazis could get their dudes onto American soil without the help of jetpacks.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're like perfectly capable.
Why were like fully kitted out Nazi soldiers on American soil. They weren't even trying to hide that they were German.
It's like just in case,
It's a great
But
question.
you can have men with guns ready to back up Sinclair and not have them be in German military uniforms. It's called plausible deniability.
I don't know. But they even have a big old Nazi flag on their the blimp too, right?
Well, that's their goodwill tour blimp, though.
Their peace
Now,
blimp. Yeah,
using-
that's acceptable.
Using their peace blimp to very publicly pick up a bunch of criminals, also a very bad idea, because blimps don't go so fast. And it doesn't matter if you're not citizens. If you do a big crime, it's still a big crime.
That's a great point. You hearing that, everybody? Words to live by. I feel like, too, the thing with the mobster also just doesn't seem super into it in general. Like, even when he's doing the actual mobstering, he's like, listen, I just want to get home. Can you give me the rocket ship or something?
He's in it for the money.
Yeah.
It's very clear.
Yeah, and also he really doesn't like Sinclair very much.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, I mean, Sinclair is very handsome, so there's that.
He is handsome. He does suck. He's not a good guy.
And
Even before we find out he's a Nazi, he's an actor.
the lowest form of human.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, whenever he tries to seduce women, all he can do is quote lines from his movies.
Yeah.
Which is a trope I always think is funny.
I like it.
It's not like he wrote them. Why is he using them?
Like, what, do you want him to come up with brand new things? Like, they've never been said before? Is quoting Shakespeare okay? Or is just you're mad that this is convenient for him? I don't know. It's like, this is the same thing, but whatever, I guess. He's pretty funny in this. I do think he's just... I kind of want to see his, like, little Errol Flynn movie. I love it when they do that, when they make a bad fake movie in a movie. It's cool. Probably never finished that movie, though. Do you think that is his unreleased, like, everybody goes to the cinema all sad? Because nobody knows he was a Nazi.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
like-
At the end, the papers don't mention him being a Nazi. It's like he died in a car accident.
So yeah, like they hire all his friends to finish it, and it's like the highest grossing movie of that year. And the FBI is just sitting in the back of the theater like, oh, no, they don't know.
Maybe don't send it to his next... Don't send the profits to his next of kin.
Yeah.
God, what is the line? Wouldst that thou would drink of my lips like that, or something?
Yeah. That was it.
Real thirsty thing to say to a guy you just met.
Hell yeah.
But I guess,
but-
shoot your shot.
Yeah. It's a big exciting moment too for everybody in that scene. So, once
Do
you
you
see a
think-
chandelier hit a guy, you're just like, holy shit, this is definitely the moment.
Do you think that there has ever been a woman who approached Timothy Dalton and said that line to him?
That would be great. No,
in real
but they
life?
should. They really should. I don't know what his deal is. Is he cool? He seems cool.
Pretty sure he's fine. I've never heard anything particularly negative about Timothy Dalton.
Right? So I feel like he'd go with it if it was the first time it's ever happened. If he could remember that he ever said that in a movie, or that was from a movie he was in, I think he'd be like, that's pretty funny. So everybody, let's not all do it at once. But if you see Timothy Dalton, ask him about it. Or if you're feeling very brave, try it out, see what happens. I don't know.
Well, also, he is 76 now, so he's probably, happy with any attention.
Yeah, he's still looking great, though. I mean, I watched the Doom Patrol first couple seasons, and he's still Timothy Dalton,
Well, yeah, any rich person is able to preserve their beauty well past a regular human lifespan.
No. It just happens to him. Like because he is our better, he is able to, maintain his beauty.
I'm not even necessarily saying like plastic surgery or anything. Just you live a much more comfortable life with no stress.
Oh, I'm saying plastic surgery, like the good hair plugs, the ones Elon got, all that stuff.
Yeah, buddy.
Nothing wrong with that. You guys, that's the whole movie. It's pretty good.
Pretty
We're getting a
good.
sequel. So there's a cartoon. Oh, I wanted to talk about this. So there's a cartoon where it's the granddaughter of Seaborn or whatever his
The
name is.
great granddaughter of Cliff Secord.
Oh, great granddaughter.
Great granddaughter.
I guess he's oldish in the 30s or whenever this movie takes place. So,
He's
yeah.
probably supposed to be in his 20s about.
Yeah, she was probably conceived, or like her grandmother was probably conceived during this movie at some point, like right after the movie ends.
Her
It's
last
like,
name is also Secord, so wouldn't it be her grandfather?
Oh, maybe. That makes sense. So maybe there's a lot of Secords out there and it's just kind of a coincidence. Either way, there was definitely, there are a lot of Secords kicking around, and he is one of them. He plays much like, was maybe the story that they were going to go with in the Wonder Woman movies. He plays his own grandson as what's the name? George Seaborn or something in the Rocketeer cartoon?
David Secord?
David Secord. There you go. Also, Frank Welker is the dog in that.
Well, there you go.
In case anyone was wondering. But also, so I found this incredibly strange. That character, I don't know. Have you ever seen it, Diggins?
The show? No, I didn't even know it existed until I was looking up this movie on Disney+. Plus.
So I don't know what his deal is. I would assume he's also a pilot or something. That actor plays that Billy Campbell is in that movie I was talking about a couple weeks ago called Troll. That's like Godzilla with trolls.
Oh, really?
Then he plays not an archaeologist, like kind of a paleontologist. I think he's a paleontologist. In a very short scene where they uncover something that isn't even troll related. It's just introing this other main character who's going to go do troll stuff. And that character's name is David Seaborn in that movie, in the Trolls movie. So they're connected.
Well, he's Secord.
Or Secord. Whatever it is in the one, it's the same in the other. He plays that. Yeah, he plays his character from the Rocketeer cartoon. So if we have rockets, we would have trolls. And I assume in that universe, the Nazis didn't win either because it never comes up. So, yeah. Isn't that interesting? Maybe not. I don't know. It kind of is.
Nah, it's interesting.
I feel like if you showed it to a kid, you're like, look, it's like from that cartoon you watched. They'd be pretty confused. But I think it's great. Anyway, they're making another one of these with David Oyelowo that does not seem to be attached to this, I think. Like, it's not attached to the cartoon, but it is attached to the live-action movie.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Again, I didn't know about any of this until this episode.
Yeah, so this got announced maybe a year, 2 years ago, and kind of along with like Willow, where it was just them going like, we're going to make all that stuff. People keep complaining about us not making it. We're going to do it. And that's all we know. I don't think this has gone anywhere. I do think it could be kind of cool, especially if it's set in the past. It would be dumb if it's in the present. But like if it's in like the Cold War, and that could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Maybe Timothy Dalton didn't explode, you know?
Oh, come back, please.
He's like
maybe he didn't explode. He got the jetpack plans to Germany, and the sequel reveals that the Rocketeer timeline is a dystopian one where the Germans won World War II.
Yeah.
Thanks to their jetpack-powered super soldiers.
That'd be pretty fun, actually. I think that could be interesting. But yeah, I hope they make it. Because, I don't know. I'm curious now. Now I kind of want to see what they do. But yeah, so far it's just in pre-production. So it'll never happen. We'll never see it. But wouldn't it be great if we did?
Yeah.
You guys, that's the Rocketeer. I hope the person that suggested this, whoever you are, I hope you like it.
I hope you're satisfied with this.
Yeah, I hope you like hearing us talk about it and slowly losing our minds.
I guess it's... Yeah, you don't need to be satisfied necessarily.
In fact, I hope you're not.
Yeah, I just hope you understand that there is. The Rocketeer is a movie we've all watched. And frankly, two of these guys had never seen before. So that's something, you know? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like when we get exposed to new
also,
stuff.
we all liked it. Which, when you make us watch a movie like this, I assume you want us to like it. Instead of if you make us watch Hudson Hawk, then I'm like, well, you know what you're getting out of this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
You'll get me being like, it was dumb, and then Diggins will start his thing with like, guys, and then you'll know Diggins loved it or something. You know, that's what Hudson Hawk episode's going to be like. It's going to be a big, long ramble about how the costumes weren't good and Bruce Willis wasn't good, but guys, it kind of rules. You know, the AI chatbot's going to write one of these episodes one of these days. We got to get these out quickly before it can take over.
We could be replaced by a podcast AI so easily.
Absolutely.
I had ChatGPT write me a script for a comedy that takes place after the Death Star blew up. It is so good. ChatGPT is amazing. We're so fun.
I've actually been in real time submitting everything you guys said into ChatGPT, and
nice.
Everything I've said has been generated for me by ChatGPT. I didn't think of any of it.
That's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
Even when I misspoke, that was also ChatGPT.
Well, we only got 3 more things on the list that are coming up. Well, I guess that's not true. No, right? Because we got Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
Future Twilight things, which all take up one space in my brain.
Right.
Yeah.
The My Hero Academia movie, and then...
the Mario Brothers movie.
Super Mario, right. I knew I was forgetting something. So there's 4 more, as of now. Mm-hmm. The Twilight ones will happen as they happen.
Obviously, we're going to do the Mario movie before the new Mario movie.
And same with Percy Jackson, which I think that's supposed to come out this year. The show on Disney Plus. And I remember seeing some stuff for it. Like, yeah, I think that's going to be at some point this year. So we'll get both of those. So My Hero Academia is the next one that we'll do when we just have nothing to talk about. So it'll be fun. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
We haven't done an anime thing in forever.
I don't think you've done an anime while I've been here.
That's probably true. Yeah, we never did any of the Dragon Ball Z movie or the Dragon Ball
Super
movies.
Well, they're good. Is the thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, Resurrection
Broly
Resurrection F is okay.
I mean, it's like the weakest one, but it's still pretty good.
It's fine. Broly is surprisingly good, as was Superhero.
Broly rules. Yeah. Well, I haven't seen Superhero, but I've heard it rules. That is one
I feel like Superhero is the I think I said it on this podcast when I wrecked it. It's the most like an actual movie out of any of these movies so far.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Maybe the next one. Is there a next one?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that one will just be a movie.
They be doing this forever.
Yeah.
As long as it makes money, they'll keep doing it.
Speaking of the next thing.
They'll find new Masters of the Universe. Goku Black will come back or some crazy shit. Like they'll figure it out.
Well, that is the thing with that show and like that thing. Even when you think they got the top, they must have got the last guy. There's more guys to get. So
they found people who created the universe. They found the equivalent of in DC the
God.
They found Christian God. They're still going.
Beat him up. That'd be pretty cool.
To be fair, while they have met several gods, Goku has never defeated a god in combat.
But it's theorized that there are some, like, I think they say that, like, Vegeta, or which one? Either Vegeta or Gogeta, as, like, Super Saiyan Blue could. Gogeta. Both are correct. They're two different things. One is the fusion dance, the other is the rings.
No,
earrings.
That you're using that particular portmanteau of Goku and Vegeta's names is not the thing I'm making fun of you for.
What is it?
It's Gogeta.
Gogeta.
Oh
yeah. Anyway, one of them I thought in Super Saiyan Blue form was like stated like, yeah, they could probably beat one of those gods.
I'd like to see it.
At least it was implied.
Sounds
but
cool.
we've never seen Goku defeat a god.
That's fine.
Not
yet. That's fair. Yeah, just wait for it.
Well, until we wait for that, do you guys want to get to our classic segment? Recommend some things.
I would love that.
All right, DJ, you got anything to recommend to the fine people?
So I do, but I worry that none of it's new. So wait, did one of you guys already recommend the Weird Al movie?
Yes,
We both did.
Oh fuck! All right, well I could be the third person to recommend both Knives Out and the Weird Al movie because I watched both.
The
of those
original Knives Out. You recommend?
Sorry, Glass Onion.
The original Weird Al movie, UHF 571 or whatever that one's called.
It's just UHF, and it is pretty
just
good.
UHF.
Although it has that really racist joke in it, and that has not aged well.
Oh, I don't remember what
they
that
have
is.
like a fake Japanese game show as one of their shows.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that. It's a lot to that.
Yeah, we've grown. I'm sure Weird Al regrets it.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, it's great. It's on the Roku channel. I don't like the thing about the Roku channel that confuses me, right? So you can watch like live TV. They have all this like original content, but like you don't pay for it. You just got to own a Roku, and it's like, how does that work? Like
you don't even need to own a Roku. You could go to Roku.com or whatever it is and watch it for free. You don't even have to make an account.
Yeah,
I don't. What is going on? How are they going to make money?
It's an utterly insane business model, but I'm not complaining.
Well, A, most of their content came from Quibi, so they got it for pennies on the dollar. B,
that's all right.
I think the big one is like they must have some software on the TV that lets them know everything about you, and in exchange for you watching the Weird Al movie, they get to have all of that and give it to all the advertisers they want. It's got to be that.
Yeah, do you guys remember the original Hulu commercials when, like, it was Alec Baldwin being like, why is Hulu giving you all this free TV? It's because we're aliens who want to suck your brains. And it's like, they were just explaining away. They're like, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. You're not probably actually that. What's going on?
Yeah.
So that's what, like, I think of when I see this shit. I'm like, there is something else afoot. But yeah, to Diggins' point, like, just shut up and enjoy it. So yeah, I mean, Glass Onion, everyone's like talked to death about, but I loved Weird, the Al Yankovic story. I thought it was so fun. I don't know if it's like a audiences may vary thing on it. Like, I mean, so it, and I don't think it's like spoilery, but like it is a parody movie. The movie makes this very clear. It's not like being coy about, ooh, is this a documentary? Like, no, it's like, it takes the very classic rock and roll style documentary format and then like pastes Weird Al's life over it, but does it in like a very silly way. Like, I think there's an actual line in the movie where his mom goes, you know, we just want you to stop doing the things you love. And it's like, it's like, oh, okay, this is what this movie is. And it's great. But it might not be for everyone, but like there's no cost to entry to dig at this point. You don't need, I thought you need to own a Roku, because that's how I watched it, but apparently you don't. So like definitely watch it. It's free and it's like under 2 hours and it's very funny and amazing. And I'm sorry this was already wrecked and I'm wrecking it again, but I feel that strongly about it. Also, season 5 of The Circle dropped, and it's pretty good. Like I've been down more or less on The Circle recently, but like I think they've like finally hit their sweet spot of like people that aren't like, you need one person on it that you hate. Like that's just how that works. It's like, oh, I hate this person, and I think that person is different for different people, but that person does exist. And like I'm fine with that because I think in like season 3, like I hated all of them, but in this it's like, oh, I only hate one person, and it's good. It gives you a villain, and that's how these things should work. And I think they're smart enough to cast like different enough people that like you'll find your own reason to not like a certain person for whatever those reasons are. And I think that's good for like a reality TV show, especially one in like the format where it's like it could get stale, but I still think they're making it work. So it's like, also, if you don't know the premise, it's like, you play on this like big, you know, not AI, but like Alexa type platform called The Circle. So it's an anonymous, social media competition where you play as yourself or a catfish. And you know, people are trying to be the most popular, and it really does sound like a dystopian game, but I think they've kind of nailed it because they do get people on that are fun to watch. So that's helpful. But like, if you like it, watch season 5. And they've gotten better too of like stringing what the interesting like cliffhangers are and like why to keep watching. Like not just the reveals of like who's number 1 of the ranking or who's going to get eliminated. Like there's some drama there. Also, like I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't watched it yet, but there's something that happens early in episode like 1 and 2 that like it leads to what I'll say. So, like, slight spoiler for The Circle. I guess skip ahead like a minute. But it leads 2 of the people to actually live together. And it's a guy and a girl. And Michelle and I are, like, back and forth on this. Michelle is convinced they fucked. I don't think they fucked, because if they fucked, they would show it to us, right? But Michelle's like, no, if you see them doing this, and this, they fucked, and they're just not showing it to us. So, I don't know. If either of you guys watch, I would love to get your theories on, like, did these 2 people fuck?
I'm gonna say
I don't
yes.
think because
I haven't watched,
but they would show us.
I have not watched the show, nor will I. But I would love to hear from Michelle the full breakdown on her argument on why these 2 people fucked.
All right, well, okay, we'll make this happen at some point. So, but yes, I will make that happen. But I do not think they fucked. I don't think they would hold out that.
They're saving it.
Hold that.
They're saving it for sweeps.
Yeah. Maybe
exactly.
they're saving it for circle sweeps. But yeah, those are my recs for this week.
All right, Diggins, what about you?
I just have a couple. One first, quick re-rec of something that I believe you wrecked a while ago, Nando. I watched Confess Fletch. Really funny movie. A lot of fun. That's the one where John Hamm plays the kind of a detective, investigative reporter, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
And he is he's like looking into some stolen paintings for his Italian girlfriend. But when he arrives in Boston, there's a dead body in the house he's renting, so that the cops think he killed her. So it's like him sort of going around trying to solve both this murder and the painting thing, while being followed by the police for being potentially a murderer.
Yeah.
And it's fun because like he doesn't care at all about that part. He's very nonchalant, very sarcastic, very witty, and just kind of just a weird guy overall. And that's the main thrust of it. There is like mystery elements, but it's the meat of the movie is John Hamm like being snarky to people. But it's really fun. I enjoyed that. The other thing I'm wrecking that neither of you have wrecked before is a game called Signalis. Either of you heard of this one?
No.
No.
So it's an indie horror game It's very clearly inspired by the Silent Hill games. Like, not in a bad way, in a good way. But, like, you can tell that's where they drew a lot of their inspiration, along with, you know, a lot of other general horror trends. It's like a survival horror. So you are playing as, they call it a replicant. It's like the replicants in Blade Runner. You're like a humanoid robot who is looking for your partner that you were sent on a mission with, who has gone missing. And there's this like factory that's on this remote planet you've been sent to. That is like your whatever country. It's a little vague exactly what the societal situation is, but whoever sent you on this mission also has a factory on this planet. But something has been happening. All of the other robots have been like breaking down, and like they just attack everyone, and like their synthetic skin and hair like melts off their faces and falls off, so they're just like horrific wireframe robot things that attack everyone as soon as they see them while screaming horribly. So yeah, that is the basic plot of what is happening. But it's very kind of Lovecraftian in that there's this sort of strange implication that maybe that there's something supernatural happening here in addition to whatever else is going on. And it's not, even by the end, it's not 100% clear what really happened. But it's really good. It's so good at generating that like tension that you need in a horror game. It has a good survival horror balance in that I never had enough ammo. I was always like, I want to shoot this guy, but I have like 3 bullets. What if I need them?
Nice.
Which is complicated by the fact that enemies can sometimes just get back up. Like you killed them, and then you go back to a room to get an item to solve a puzzle, and they just get back up. So that
sucks.
That's bad. I mean, it's good in the game, but it's bad while you're playing, and you're like, oh no. It's sort of like a 3D top-down sort of control scheme or like appearance. I'd say it's like PS1 era graphics, but obviously with, you know, details and effects that they could not achieve on an actual PS1. But yeah, it's a lot of fun if you like horror, and it's scary. It is scary to play. So if you're like, oh, I'm a baby who doesn't usually like horror, don't play it. It will scare you.
Like Dead Space scary?
I think it's a little more psychological than Dead Space, but
okay.
It's definitely, and also Dead Space, like, you have the power. You're never like really low on bullets. Like you could any monster true, you can see you are supposed to kill. This is like you have a warehouse full of monsters and you have 3 shotgun bullets. Good luck.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So yeah, that's a lot of fun. DJ, do you have anything to recommend?
Already done.
That's right.
I'll
Nando,
go next.
though. My brain.
Diggins hasn't been on the rec segment in a while. He kind of forgot how it goes. That makes sense. Just kidding. You were here last week. Everybody can check the tapes.
And I even successfully said, Nando, do you have anything else to plug last week?
That's right. You did.
It's true.
I have a bunch of things, some I'll run through pretty quickly. First one, Menus on HBO, watched again, still rules.
Yeah.
My new favorite line is when the old lady says, "Such a handsome boy." I love that line. I feel like I liked it when I saw it the first time, but then the second time, I was like, that's great. Everything in that one scene that I'm describing, that's from, is probably my favorite scene in the movie, but overall, yeah, it's a fun rewatch, especially if you know what's going on. I want to recommend, I watched on HBO this week the All But Gas No Breaks documentary. Did either of you guys see this?
No.
Oh, I want to watch it.
This place rules. It's him going around and doing, like, it's all their footage that they haven't used yet, but, like, because they're preparing for this, of, like, mostly the immediate aftermath of the election. So, like, they're at the first Stop the Steal rally. They're at all those things. For people that don't know, this is Andrew Callahan, Channel 5 News, and they're the guys that go up and, like, put a mic in front of a crazy person. But they don't, like, they're not, like, John, like, Stewart's guys, where they don't, like, provoke them. They really usually just go, like, and then what? And why do you think that? And then they're able to find some crazy stuff. I was kind of excited for them to be at January 6th, and they were not, for reasons that's pretty funny in the show, in the thing. But So if you're looking for that, don't get excited. But there is some interesting stuff that I have never seen them do before, like just interviews that I've never seen, because I watch all that stuff. So that was fun. I played a game this week, a board game, card game thing called Doomlings. Either of you guys played this?
Oh.
No.
It's like, I don't know what it is. It's not a deck builder. It's like one of those, though, where you're like collecting cards and you pick up a card each turn or whatever and play a card. One of those. It's about like evolving, but it's not. It's fun. It's very simple, very silly. It's not really super hard. You can run through a game in like half an hour. Me and Ann were playing. We had a good time. Another game this week, different kind of game. Jedi Fallen Order is the PlayStation free game of the month. So I finally got that for PS5. I've been playing it a little bit. I think it's pretty cool. It's a lot of walking around. More of that than I kind of expected. But the parts where you're not walking around are pretty cool. And the walking around parts are fun. I like the exploration aspect of it. But yeah, it's a solid game. I know, DJ, you've played it before.
Yeah, I loved it. I'm freaking waiting for Cal Kestis to show up in a thing.
I mean, the new game comes out in like March, right? Or something like that?
Yeah,
so.
he was at the Game Awards, and he's like, I hope everyone's... He did the thing.
Cal
he came on stage and yelled, "I'm Bill Clinton."
The real Cal Kestis?
Yeah.
Man.
As far as I'm concerned.
I haven't seen that. I haven't finished the game, so I don't know. Maybe he goes to the Game Awards at the end.
And he,
See
and while
there.
Elden Ring's getting the reward, he comes on and tells everybody about Jedi Fallen Order.
Cuts their head off. Yeah, it's a very Elden Ringy kind of game, though. That's the other surprise. But I kind of had heard that. I remembered as it was happening. I was like, oh yeah, this is what this is. It's like parrying and slow kind of sword combat, but it's fun. The other thing I watched this week, second to last one, a new season of Emily in Paris dropped. A show that I watched that I think is fine and it's fun, and we watched the whole season this weekend, and I think it was pretty good. So I can recommend that. If you like it, you'll like it. If you don't, you probably won't. And then last thing, my actual real rec, besides Mithrigan, which we'll talk about next week, I saw the Puss in Boots movie, and it's incredible. I cannot say enough nice things about it. I think it's insane that they tried to release it around the same time as Avatar 2, because it had nowhere to go but down. Like, there's no way. Not there's no way, because it's really, really good. And if it wasn't for Avatar 2, this went up against, Aquaman 2 or, another movie from this year that wasn't the biggest sequel to the biggest movie of all time. I think this could have broken through and been a really big hit, because the animation is insane. They do the Spider-Verse thing. They drop frame rates at certain times, and it's really colorful. And also, the story is great. The voice acting's great. It's phenomenal. I think I've seen the first Puss in Boots movie, but that's how little it matters. Just kind of got to know it's Salma Hayek's girlfriend, Cat. But besides that, just kind of got to know Puss in Boots is Zorro, basically. And he kind of knows Shrek. But that doesn't even really come up. But yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people this week being like, you guys, this movie's actually really, really, really good. But it is. And I think it'll take for people to go for this movie to make it to people's houses before it really catches on. And I'm sure they'll still make a fifth Shrek movie or whatever. Someone kill that franchise. But it is kind of a shame, because I think this should be getting more attention. And I think it's a fun watching at theater at 10 o'clock at night when there's nobody else there. That part is extra good.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are we doing next week, fellas? Is there any movies out next week?
Baby.
Mithrigan. That sounds familiar.
Wait, I thought we were going to do Puss in Boots.
Oh, shoot. We could do both, but also Mithrigan. Which one is the one from the football game where they had all the Mithrigans dance around? Did you guys see that?
No.
Doing some wild ads for this movie.
Is that the one where the man died?
Nope, different game. They had nothing to do with that, because that is a Mithrigan kind of thing they would do. Not that I've seen the movie, I don't know, but yeah, no, it was another one. I think it was the Monday or the Sunday afternoon game. I remember just seeing some posts on social like, did they just let Mithrigan onto the field? And what they did was they got a bunch of little, I'm guessing like children, little girls that are dancers, dressed them up like Mithrigan. I want to say put on masks, but it also might just be a lot of makeup, and had them all do the Mithrigan dance together. And apparently they also go to some other spots. Like, they were at the Empire State Building today or yesterday. They were at a premiere, just dancing around. It's wild stuff.
Doing little twerks.
Well, no, not twerk. Well, I hope not. But no, like that, TikTok dancing thing they do. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I just call it the TikTok dance. I'm sure there's a name for it.
That's fair.
But yeah, that's next week. Until then, do we have anything to plug, DJ?
Yeah, so Roses and Rejections, while we wait for the Bachelor season to start at the end of this month, we're doing The Circle. So next episode will be episodes 1 through 8. That is where, by the way, you could find Michelle and I's thoughts on Did Those Two People Fuck? Diggins, I will forward you that information so you can hear the conversation on whether or not those two people fucked. So you can get that full in-depth analysis there.
I'm never going to watch the show, and I don't care about it, but I'm now extremely invested in whether or not these two people fucked.
Nice.
I mean, I don't know if we'll ever know, but I mean, I don't think anything could convince Michelle. They could both go under a polygraph, like, no, we didn't have sex, and she'd be like, nah, faking it.
I mean, has anybody asked? They probably did interviews, right? Does it come up?
They're probably waiting for the season to wrap.
Oh, sure. That makes sense. Diggins, you got anything to plug?
Just my usual stuff, my newsletter, littleperspective.substack.com, and I stream sometimes at twitch.tv/this is an odd name. Nando, do you have anything to plug?
Just the usual video out last week. That was my Superman pitch. Right, that one's good. I like that. I'm sure we'll hear soon from James Gunn what the actual thing is, but I think so far it hasn't happened yet, so that is always good. I also have 2 Nando Cut. You know what? Actually, 3 small Nando Cut videos. I'm on my secondary channel. One is my Mithrigan review. So if you're curious, I'll tell you how I feel about it. I'm going to do a Puss in Boots one that I've recorded, have not edited yet.
It's crazy that you did a Mithrigan review without having watched the movie.
I've seen a lot of trailers. I think I get it. And then the other one, and I did my favorite comics of 2022. It wasn't a list. I mean, it's a list, but it's not a ranking or anything like that. Just maybe me running through 10 or 11 comics on my table that I was like, this one was really good. So if you ever, people ask that a lot, what comics should I read? And it's hard to recommend them because there's so many, and it's very it's all very tastes adjacent. If you like this, you might not like this, whatever. So if you want to watch that, you can probably get a sense for one or two that you'd enjoy from this last year. So next week, first movie of 2023 is Mithrigan. Until then, I have been at Nando via Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. We love you.